live.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year to the guys, not the listeners, but you guys here right now.
Well, same to you.
What'd you guys do for New Year's? I didn't fucking do anything. I watched Everybody Loves Raymond again. That's all I've been doing.
Nah, I didn't do
I saw
anything.
the ball drop in my pajamas, so didn't even do anything.
All right. Fred,
Yeah,
you
you-
didn't see the
Yes.
ball drop, did you?
No, I stayed home and played cards.
Oh, wait, you're in Canada. You're not watching the ball drop in New York City?
I mean, we can see it if we want to, but I just didn't care enough.
Did you say you were at home playing cards?
Yeah.
Oh, I was at
Yeah,
my grandparents playing cards today, too.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. But we play this game that's like, I think they made it up. They call it Jim Rummy, but I don't think it's actually Jim Rummy.
Card games aren't my thing, so I know how to play
Yeah.
poker, and that's about it.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. I only know how to play the fucking made up game that my grandparents made.
Fake rummy.
All it is like you make pairs of things. So it'll be like 3 threes or 2 3 4 of the same like shape, or like 3 queens or something like that. And then you just kind of like add and deduct points for like whatever cards are kind of left standing.
Yeah, it sounds made up.
And yeah, I
Sounds
never,
made
Yeah,
up.
that just
never heard anyone
that's-
call the suits a shape.
Well, there you go, dude. Again, I don't know fucking anything about anything, so I'll call them a shape because that's what it is to me.
house rules for Jim Rummy.
Yeah, it's probably not really Jim Rummy here.
Sounds fun though.
Yeah, here we go. Down the slope. Zip, zop, zoobity bop. Another Family Guy reference for Paul. I know he loves those.
Yeah.
Wasn't that wasn't that a Bill Cosby imitation though?
It was
From
Bill
Family
Cosby.
Guy? From
Yeah,
Family
he's
Guy?
like,
Yeah.
when
yeah,
I was a
remember that.
kid, we used to play a buck.
Oh,
Peter!
oh, that's my great Lois impression.
And Lois.
Hey, Lois.
All right, so, well, I guess there's not much new with you guys. We just talked like a few fucking days ago. But we got Meat Man of Death Metal Shitposting here on the show. It's long awaited. Welcome.
We do
Yeah,
need-
thanks for having me on. Long
Yeah, no
awaited
problem, dude.
collab.
Yeah, what can you tell us about being a shit poster? What does it mean? Have you gotten any trouble doing this? Do you piss anybody off? What's going on? What does it mean to be a shit poster, if I can ask?
Oh, what does it mean to be a shit poster? Oh, that's
Mhm.
How'd
You
you
know
get
what?
into it too?
Oh yeah.
oh, how do I get into it?
Yeah, just get into the whole spiel. This is your show now.
So my friend, he ran like a thrash metal shit posting page. It's like thrash metal memes 420. If I can, yeah, that was the name. Thrash metal memes 420.
I think
You
I might
said-
remember that.
Yeah, I promoted him all the time because he's like my real life friend, and he's like, you should do this for death metal, and I did, and I just kept on doing it. And that's how we got to today.
Yeah, so
Not really,
That was
has
concise.
any bands, yeah, have
Not really
any
a great
bands,
story, but
No, that's all right. Well, that's how you got into it. But have any bands approached you in good or positive ways, or positive or negative ways, I should say?
well, I was telling you guys before Fred came on, Song with Shunobog has me blocked because of a story post I did calling him a bunch of, let's just call him a bunch of pussies for asking for free weed in Las Vegas. So they don't like me
Freeloaders.
all too much. Yeah, freeloaders.
I wish they
And other
blocked
than
me.
that,
So they blocked you and called you a bitch, huh? They said, "Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up,
I'll-
bitch."
yes, exactly. They said, "Shut the fuck up, bitch."
Why
So-
don't you show some fucking respect here?
Yeah, but otherwise, a lot of bands have been very like happy to have their memes posted, like Cardiac Arrest, Deteriorate. Let's see what else, like Cardiac Arrest, Deteriorate, Ceremonium. Yeah, like pretty much every band that like I post that has like a that has like a member running their Instagram account has been like appreciative of it. So that's good.
Yeah,
At
yeah,
least I haven't
yeah.
really
We
had
appreciate
too
it too,
many.
dude. Because I know you did like a Big Billy thing, that Big Billy type cut, something like
Yeah,
that.
Big Bailey type cut. Yeah, I did that. Like I saw the excrement episode. I'm like, okay, I could do this. I did it like in 5 minutes.
At first, I didn't
Not even.
understand what the Galicia thing was, but it's Lisa.
Oh, It was just we're entering the avant-garde. We're entering the obscura era of meme shit posting,
Right.
where things don't really make sense.
Say, did you ever hear of a band called Ape God? They're friends with Cromlech.
I remember those guys.
No, I know Cromlech though.
Yeah,
Or-
they're kind of like Argus Slenty, hardcore, grindcore kind of thing, but like their whole shtick is apes and monkeys and things, and like fucking Planet of the Apes. And the intro to their EP, it's Homer and Lisa, where she's yelling at Homer. She's calling him a baboon. She's like, baboon! He goes, Lisa, I don't think you know what you're saying.
Oh.
That just reminded me of that.
Yeah. I remember when, I remember when Cromlech like broke up. We know it. I was talking to Nick from Hessian Firm. He was like, "Yeah, they broke up." I'm like, "Fuck."
All those years ago.
Yeah, all those years ago. But now they're more McGill and they're back. So
Yeah, we'll see what comes there. Because I mean, the Cromlech album was great. The Into Oblivion EP was terrific, and I'm sure they'll keep that up.
18-minute song about Torn Term Bar at the end of that
See,
Cromlech
that goes
album.
above my head. I don't even know what that is.
We talked
Oh,
about
it's
it
I'm
with
not a
the,
reader.
From
It's
Tolkien.
Tolkien stuff.
Yeah. See, I don't
it's
read.
like Silmarillion stuff.
One of the best stories in the whole thing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Turin is one of the best parts of that. The Silmarillion.
Yep.
So, as a guy who's pretty much has a knowledge of a lot of underground metal bands, what are some of your like original bands that you listen to that were kind of like, okay, this is getting quite underground? Where you already figure you're knowing shit and you're kind of starting to do a deep dive. What were some of your like first like favorite underground demos or albums, whatever?
Oh, favorite like underground demos. Like,
Or some of the things that kind of got you started into like delving into it more.
okay, definitely Morpheus Descends and Infester. I know those are
Nice.
kind of not like underground. They're kind of like B tier era, like B tier death metal, but I wanted more stuff that sounded like that. So I was digging through. I found bands like Dominus Zool,
Nice.
Insanity or Insanity. I don't know how to pronounce that band. The band from Pennsylvania.
yeah.
Is that the old one from the 80s?
No, from '96 with the album Divine Decomposition.
Okay. I don't know
Oh,
any
and
of them.
Insanity.
Insanity. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Oh, it sounds like it's recorded in an actual cave, but it's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
Then I found bands like Carcinogen, which really leads into more like Cyanide and Funereal. The Flesh from Norway, which is a great band.
No one ever talks
Yeah,
about
that one
them.
actually
They were
is really
great.
cool.
Yeah, no one talks about. I've seen one account on Instagram post about it, one, which is pretty cool.
That's not the sophisticated metal guy or whatever his name is, right?
No, it was. Let me pull it up because I know who he is. I know the guy. It is Minas Ethel Tower on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that guy does a lot of the same kind of like just posting of really things you've never fucking heard of before. These two guys post a lot
Yeah,
of that
like
kind
some-
of stuff.
Yeah, Sophisticated and Minas Ethel Tower. Great, like really underground albums.
Yeah, so do you play any instruments, or are you kind of a guitar player at all or anything like that?
I do play guitar. I haven't played in a while. I'm very busy. But yeah, I do play guitar.
So like, does running the page, what does that have to do with your real life? Are you a big collector, or are you just a fan of music like online? Like me and Paul maybe are.
Yeah, I'm closer to you guys, Dan and Paul, than Fred. I have like 4 CDs of metal and
Ah,
like a cassette. I have like 2 band shirts for metal. And one of them is Metallica, so not really even metal.
you're not a show off, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I have a grave
No, I'm
long
just kidding.
sleeve.
Hey.
I'm just
Hey,
fucking around.
it's rude.
I have an Into the Grave long sleeve, which is pretty cool. It took 6 months to get here, but
Oh my god.
From
yeah,
Indonesia.
no, from Sweden. My friends ordered it for my birthday, and it took 6
All right.
months to get from Gotland or wherever the hell they're from.
Gotland. I think
Yeah,
that's where
but
Paul
really
said
into,
you
like-
guys were from. The Neil Hamburger Facebook page, if you remember that.
Yeah.
The Gotlands. So
Yeah.
when it comes to like death metal in general, is that what you got into first, or is it kind of the normal thing like Metallica and Slayer and shit?
So, my metal stuff. I originally not even a metal guy at all. I hated metal at the beginning. I was like into like proto metal, like stuff like Sir Lord, Baltimore, Leafhound, Bam, like stuff like that, like acid rock, really.
Yeah, Sir Lord Baltimore's pretty
And then
good. I always described them as like Led Zeppelin on fucking on crack or something.
Yeah. And then I found the Stooges of all things, and that was kind of what sent me down this direction of heavier music. Was the Stooges of all things. So
Yeah, so
then the
yeah,
Stooges.
how does that evolve?
It was getting. It went from the Stooges to I Hate God, which
Okay,
is
so
kind
you
of
get-
weird. That's a
Yeah,
big
I
So
jump.
guess that
so
is
a
kind of a
different
weird jump.
different drug music, huh? Acid to
Yeah,
to sludge.
yeah.
Well, I
so,
guess it still has that like bluesy inflection to it, right?
yeah, so I was like into sludge and doom, like Electric Wizard, which I'm still a fan of. I know people shit on Electric Wizard for being weed band, but I like the second album a lot. I think it's still pretty good.
That's the
then
one with like
my-
the devil smoking weed on it, right?
No, that's the third album. That's Dope Throne. Come My
Oh, Dope
Fanatics
Throne,
is
right.
just Dope Throne's the third album, and that all changed when going on a school trip to Princeton, New Jersey, and my friend, I'm listening to, I think I was listening to Cream or something, and my friend says, "Oh, have you heard of this band Metallica?" This is like 9th grade in high school, and he showed me Whiplash, and it all went downhill from there. So Metallica's to thank for me listening to music with mutilated women on the covers.
Yeah, descent into death metal. I gotcha.
Yeah,
What about Paul and Fred? You guys have been a little bit quiet. What do you have to say about all this?
I'm deeply offended. No, I don't know. I mean, like, it's it's just interesting how everyone has a different path to get to where we are, right? I mean, completely different from mine. I started with like Smashing Pumpkins, Marilyn Manson, and then slid straight into Cradle of Filth and black metal. That's how I got to black and death metal. Completely different story, but I mean, at the same time, not terribly dissimilar, and just it kind of like draws you in, right? So it's
yeah, it's like the forbidden music. It's like, oh, this sounds scary.
yeah, exactly.
Dusk in
Yeah,
her
like,
embrace.
Yeah, I was feeling like the first death metal band I heard was Obituary of all bands, and the song "Slowly We Rot," and that song like scared the shit out of me. And I come back and I'm like, oh, this song is great. And then I hear Cause of Death. Then it goes into Bolt Thrower, which I guess those bands are somewhat similar. And then this just infinite spiral of finding more and more heavy things.
I don't know if there was any bands that scared me, but I do remember hearing or like hearing about black metal and then kind of just diving into a bunch of bands. And I think Immortal might have been actually the first black metal band I heard. And I thought it was really cool. The first song I heard from them was "Sons of Northern Darkness." It was on like the guitar player for Ex Mortis on his MySpace page, and it starts off with the drums kind of just going off, and then songs are fucking sick. But I think the first thing that confused me was hearing Burzum, War. When I first heard those vocals, I was very confused. I almost thought it was a joke or something.
Yeah, that's the first black metal song I heard was Dunkelheit. I don't speak a word of German. Like Dunkelheit. That was the first black metal song I heard, and I hated it. I still don't like it. It gave me a headache because who decides to record vocals through a was it like helicopter headset or airplane headset? One of those two. And just vocals sound like pure static. Gave me a headache, but I was intrigued by it. So I look up, oh, what's this Burzum band? And I found out the stuff with the Euronymous and all that.
So
But black metal didn't click. Oh, sorry.
no. Go ahead, dude. Like I said,
Black
it's your
metal
show
didn't
now.
really. Yeah. Black metal didn't really click for me until like Immortal and like the more blasting stuff like Marduk, Impaled Nazarene. Bands like that
Yeah,
got
it's
me
it's
into
funny.
it.
I never hear people getting into either black or death metal and then getting into the other through the intermediary bands that are like a mix of black and death. It's always a like straightforward black metal band that pulls them in, and then or a straightforward death metal band that pulls them in. You never hear about the ones that kind of walk the line being the ones that bridge the gap for people.
Yeah. And then I just, from like Marduk, getting into bands like Demon Sea, Vaughn, Profanatica, the USBM stuff, Beherit, that's my style of black metal.
Okay,
and
so
the
the
Hellenic
metal
stuff.
of death kind of shit.
Yeah, metal of death.
Yeah, that's right. Did you have any buddies like around you that were, or you say you had a buddy that showed you Metallica, but was there anybody else who was kind of like going through the same like evolution in taste as you?
No, actually, all my friends, besides the one who showed me Metallica, I'm not. They don't like my music taste. They think it's kind of weird, which is fair. Listening to albums like Tales of Necrophilia, it's a little weird when you're walking around to class.
Yeah,
So
so what high school that wasn't too long ago for you then, right?
yeah, high school wasn't too long ago for me.
God damn it.
All right.
Yeah,
I see. I know what you mean, Fred. It almost feels like an eternity at this point for me too.
It's like it's double eternity for me. 'Cause it's literally
Double
10 years more.
eternity.
No, but that's
But yes.
interesting that you're getting into, or what kind of hooked you was like sludge metal, because I usually don't hear that too much with people. It's kind of like a genre people come to later and don't really care
like an-
about.
It's like an other. Yeah, the sludge metal thing is kind of like an other kind of thing.
Yeah, because I know
it's
you
like-
like post like grief and shit, which is really good.
Oh, I love Grief. Grief
Yeah.
is so good. Grief.
Laugh
Oh,
likes
I
Grief.
hate to say this. Dystopia.
Yeah, I love
Oh.
Dystopia.
It's kind of dirty to say with all like those TikTok people. I don't have TikTok, but I hear.
Yeah, I don't even know
Dystopia's one of
anything
those
about
bands.
it.
But Dystopia's pretty cool. I like Nuthgrush, Crowbar,
Yeah.
13 from New York City. So I've
What
always
about exit.
slight
Exit 13.
Exit 13, not Exit 13, just 13. It had a guitarist who would later go on to play an Electric Wizard.
Oh, okay.
Cool sludge death band.
Is that Taz guy?
I don't remember. I think it was a girl who played with Electric Wizard.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of their bass
Yeah,
player
so-
or something.
Yeah, sludge was what got me into extreme metal. So, which is kind of someone who posts blasting, like really likes blasting brutal death. That's kind of weird, but
Yeah, it's a little bizarre, I guess. But
yeah.
yeah, what can you tell us about some of the things you don't like? Like you said, you're not a big fan of black metal, and you said you're not the hugest fan of like melodic death metal and things like that. Or
Yeah, I'm
you
not
didn't
the-
even talk. You don't really talk about traditional heavy metal either.
Well, I like some trad metal. It's like Melinda Road is great, Man of War is cool, but I don't come back to it as often as extreme metal.
So with,
Like
with
loud-
like, or go ahead.
Like I was gonna say, like Loudness and Anthem are cool.
Yeah, the
There's-
Japanese bands, those are cool.
Those bands are cool, but I don't really go back to that all that often.
Yeah, what are some of the things that maybe you don't like about? Well, how long have you actually been into death metal now that I'm thinking about it?
How long have I
like-
been into death metal?
Yeah, less than 10
Probably
years.
about
You think?
4 or 5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you seem to have a pretty wide like range of knowledge for not being into it for as long. I think me and Paul have been
Well,
kind of into this crap for like 15 years or something now.
yeah, you guys have the age on me, so I've had to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're
But
already
haven't
kind
had
of where we're at. We're like already with the Sacramentary abolishment and
Yeah, I know. I didn't
Warren
know who
Flam and
Sacramentary
shit.
abolishment was till like, I don't know, a couple of years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
everything getting shut down led me to just find more and more extreme music. So that's how I found bands like Rune Magic, Mortician. I found around the same time in 2020. So really, I have like COVID to thank for really getting into extreme metal.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I guess we have COVID to thank a little bit for maybe. I don't know. Did COVID even affect us at all, Paul? Or did we like kind of just continue with business as usual?
Yeah, just business as usual. I think it just gave us more time to jam, honestly.
Because
Fair.
you didn't have like time off work, right?
No, that was essential.
And I think James might have had time off work or something, because James had time during like the Mist of Twilight age,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, like a year later, he didn't, which is why the band
Oh,
broke
that
up.
sucks.
Yeah, but I know the Dungeon Serpent guy was really big on the Mist of Twilight EP. He liked that one.
James, he's in Serenitas, right? He's the one guy in Serenitas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He's coming out with
Oh,
something
yeah.
really soon.
Oh,
I
that's
think he's
cool.
gonna
Yeah, that's a great project.
Taking his damn
Yeah.
time.
He's taking his
Definitely is.
time, and I think he's gonna throw one of his songs on the compilation. So there you go.
Oh, right on.
A Bunsen burner sampler platter.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a nice sampler platter. We got a lot of new, like one-off projects coming up, and we got to working on the Galicia song right now. That's it, and then we're done.
Yeah.
And then we possibly do a tour around the the SoCal like areas around us, the LA surrounding areas. I mean to say.
Yeah. The opposite side of the country from me, so. Will I ever see Galicia? I have no clue. If you guys come to Jersey, definitely.
Jersey.
Yeah. The
Oh, for
armpit
some
of
reason-
America.
Oh, for some reason I thought you were in Florida. Did we have
No,
another guy that
I-
was in Florida?
I'm from North Jersey.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, you know who's from Florida? That other guy, that what's his name? That Spare Thy Sharpest Blades.
Yeah,
He's from
yeah,
Florida.
spare not. Yeah, he's from Florida.
Okay. Well, we were down in Florida with Warriors Chalice. I I can't imagine that we'd ever. Well, I mean, maybe if you had some kind of something going on down there, like a show or something. Maybe we could go down there.
Yeah, maybe. I know a good spot that's close to me. That's like great for metal shows. So maybe we'll have a Galicia show in.
Yeah. Do you know
North
any
Jersey.
promoters or bands, like local bands out there or anything?
Well, I know most of the bands like I'm friends with are like in Connecticut, which
Oh.
isn't that far from me. Or there's some from like Arizona. Arizona's far, but like
Close to
online makes
us.
it so easy. Yeah, it's closer to you guys. If you know Nuclear Remains, that's a cool band. They played in Jersey like in November, but I got food poisoning, so I couldn't go.
Oh, that brutal death metal band.
Yeah, from Arizona.
Yeah, they're pretty sick. But they just came out with that album this year, right? Or last year?
Yeah, last year. It's still first, so gonna be tripping over that for the next couple days.
Dripping.
Yeah, but bands like Roots of Deception, Necrocunt, bands in the like southern Connecticut area are really cool that I'm friends with.
Necrocunt.
Yeah, Brutal Death Band, of course.
I've never heard of them, but that name sounds kind of cool. Oh, I don't even see them on Metal Archives. Are they spelled weird?
Yeah, they haven't released anything yet. It's a new project from a friend of mine who I've known for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, I see there's a Necrocunt from Sweden, but they're from like 2004.
Yeah, wrong
And they-
band.
yeah. Well, they have a fat guy with a inverted crucifix on his tummy, so that's good.
Crowbar if they met up with Glenn Benton.
Yeah. You know, I notice Fred always giggles when I say fat boy or fat guy.
Because it's funny.
Yeah, I
Better
guess
not
it is
giggle
funny.
about fat jokes, boy.
Yeah, fat boy. Meat Man, did you know who what's his name? Snake Bones is, right? The guy who does
Yeah,
the,
CJ Robot 5000.
There was one of his call-in shows where the caller was talking about Cobra like eating too much and getting fat, He's like, we're gonna get Gothic King Lard Butt pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh my god. I remember. Do you guys know Northern Blood Productions? Do you know that label?
Sounds familiar.
Black metal label.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I'm not sure that I
What
know.
have they
it
released?
That
right
the
off
guy who runs that was on one of Seizure Robot's streams, which I thought was funny.
Oh, okay. Oh, this guy has. Is this the same guy who does Eisansgruppen? Is that his
Yes, same guy. Yeah,
label?
that's
Okay,
it.
yeah, I like his projects. Usurper and them and Compatriot. I remember I was talking about
Compatriot is my favorite.
Yeah, it's kind of
Hoping-
an interesting
The
lyrical.
full length's coming
themes.
out this year.
Oh yeah, yeah. Intrepid
Yeah.
American Grit. I kind of
Oh, that's a
described it
great
as
demo.
like GBK, but the lyrics are weird. The lyrics are like what would you even call that? Like George
American
Washington
Ascent.
era kind of thing.
Yeah,
American
like-
Revolution.
Revolutionary black metal,
Yeah, it's kind of
guess.
cool. They have
But
lyrics
not
about
in the-
Custer and things.
but not in the RABM way, but like American Revolution.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about RABM. As far
Neither
as
do
I've
I.
heard, as far as I've heard that most of those bands just aren't good. That's all I really know about it.
Yep, same here. That's all I know.
Yeah, just listen past the music, man. It's for the message.
Yeah, man.
Wait, what does RABM stand for?
Red
Rock
Hammer.
Against
It's like
Black
red
metal?
and anarchist black metal.
What did I say? Rock against black metal?
R RABM, Rock Against Black Metal.
Could be
Rock
that.
against black. So yeah, Intrepid American Grit. I guess talking about RABM, whatever that is. So you mostly see the scene online and not really in person, right? Do you go to a whole lot of shows, or what's going on there?
Well, right now I go to school, so I'm pretty busy.
And that's
I went to a
Jersey too.
no, that's in upstate New York, so
Oh, okay.
I'm in the ice box.
Oh man, so you have your whole little Sopranos theme going to school every day.
Yeah, yeah, my little trek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
so-
Meadow and that blonde chick who like sees the homeless lady wiping her ass and she's all traumatized.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, upstate New York, it gets pretty weird.
The Mully
So I-
boyfriend.
Yeah. Oh, I know what that means.
Well, that's what Tony called him.
Yeah, that's what Tony called. Yeah, so I'm friends with a death metal band up there called Sick Bay. I met the bassist. It's like cool, like Celtic Frost meets like beatdown hardcore, but it's like death metal and not shit. It's like really good. So I got
Well-
a shout out Sick Bay
Sick
being
Bay.
cool.
Are they on the archives? Can we find them? Yeah, here they are.
I believe so. Should say from Beacon, New York.
They got a
believe-
couple old fellas in the band.
Yeah,
The
they've been
guy
around
on
since
the-
'03.
The guy on the left in the skinless shirt, he kind of looks like Harry Dean Stanton. Remember Paul from that movie Lucky?
He looks that fucking old.
Did you see him? Look at him.
No. Oh. I'll type.
Yeah, Harry Dean Stanton from Alien and Lucky and Repo Man. You've probably seen him before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the resemblance is there.
And that dude in the middle kind of looks like that guy who does like those YouTube interviews. He interviewed Dripping. I forget what his name is. Necrocon or some shit like that.
Oh, like the guy from Philly, like the HE double hockey stick guy.
Yeah, the guy who's always wearing the hat.
Oh, the hat inside. Yeah,
Yeah, the hat inside and the flags behind him and things.
yeah. I wonder if he's ran into Jimmy from the Block because I know they're both in Philly. What's that guy doing, Jimmy from the Block? I have no idea. He disappeared.
Oh, he's just making what's it called? Little tier lists still.
Oh, he's
and
making
then-
tier lists now.
Well, about like bands that are like before Suffocation Slams, and then there's like the whole J Dog.
Oh
Thing
yeah, I
going
remember the
on.
J Dog incident.
Yeah.
Well,
That
J-Dog
was
keeps
funny.
talking about him. He's like, yeah, this is for fucking Jimmy here.
I'm hoping for that collab one day. Not gonna happen.
Well, that the video where he reviewed the new Deicide song was someone called it Section 8 Metal Reviews, and I thought it was incredibly funny.
Oh, yeah, it looked like
Looks
he was
it's
like,
s-
yeah, he looked like he was on the islands on like Lost and shit, where there's like a bunch of bungalows and shit.
yeah, it looks like he found like government provided housing in Ohio. I think he's from.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a Jimmy from the Block video where he's talking shit about? Do you remember who Septic Siren is? That chick, that skinny.
Yes,
chick?
I remember Sept. Oh my god, she looks like the human version of like a sewer rat. I'm not trying to be mean, but
Oh my god.
that's what she
I don't know
looks
why.
like.
Are we supposed to feel bad for that girl or are we not? She's always like having all kinds of problems.
Master Splinter or what?
Master Splinter, yeah.
Master
If you
Splinter.
don't
Rat girl.
like, yeah, that one.
Yeah, there was a video where Jimmy was talking shit about her, and like in the video he puts on a wig and he puts a curse on himself. So he's septic
Oh yeah, that was
putting a
Yeah, she
hex
put it-
on Jimmy.
yeah.
And at the time,
he put a
at the time, yeah, he put a curse on himself. But at the time, I was I just had hernia surgery, so like my balls were hurting, so I could relate
Oh.
to Jimmy. She put a curse on Jimmy, and Jimmy's like, "Oh, my fucking balls hurt on God, bruh."
Jimmy was really funny.
He's
Too
not,
bad he thinks forensic. Too bad he thinks Forensic's the best Moral Decay album, which it is.
I think,
It's, sickening
well,
a lot of
dude, I've
fanaticism.
only recently come into the Mortal Decay, like the Mortal Decay stuff in general, and I think the first album is probably their best.
Yeah,
as far as I've
sickening
heard.
erotic fanaticism. It's the best one.
Yeah, it's got a nice cover. It's got boobs on the cover.
Yeah,
And-
family friendly.
Yeah, and there's like a ton of fucking like, just what would you even call that? A lot of dynamic in the riffing. There's a lot of different kinds of
Yeah.
stuff going on. Like
Like that
technical
one
in a way
part-
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like that one part in Decomposed in Nitric Acid where it's like the string noise. I don't know how else to say it, but string noise.
We got to
One
make the
part
noise
before the-
now.
It's like I can't do it. But it's like halfway through Decomposed in Nitric Acid.
Yeah. All right, I'll be sure to note that.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
That sounds like that sounds like the $6 Million Man when he's like jumping off something. It's like, it's like
Oh, the $6 million man. Watching reruns of that. At
Are you
my
really?
grandparents' house. That's what I used to do. Yeah,
okay.
MeTV.
Yeah. I was watching Me TV last night. I was watching Perry, but not Perry Mason. What the hell's that? That fat guy, Albert Hitchcock. There you go. Here we go again with the fat guy.
Fat guy.
Fat
Funny
guy
every
in a
time.
little coat, Tommy boy. But I wanted to ask you, what do you see online of like the metal scene in general? What are some of your like upswings? What are some of the best bands kind of coming out right now besides some of the local ones that you were just talking about?
Well, like up and coming bands.
Just
like that.
maybe something in the last 5 years, because I know you're
Okay,
you're
like,
listening to
I was-
things from a lot of eras.
I was gonna say like Roots of Deception. I really like Nuclear Remains. Embodied Torment. I think is probably the new standard bearer for like Brodequin worship.
Really? Okay.
say
Are,
that.
are they more are they a little bit more audible than Brodequin? Because that's always a problem that I had with them. Is like, it's I don't know. It's kind of hard to hear what the hell is going on for me.
The riffs are
It's
really
just
buried
auto-
by the drumming, yeah.
Yeah.
It's as audible as that style can be, because it's just. Well, that first Brodequin album is just produced. Well, it's just like shit. So it just sounds like a bunch of noise,
Yeah.
except when it
yeah, that's
slows
fair.
down. It's just
What
so
do you-
fuzz. It sounds like a metal zone, like
Yeah.
looped on top of itself. They definitely were using metal zones.
I always hear people talking shit about Metal Zone pedals. But then I also hear a lot of people talking them up, saying that they're great. And I don't know what to think. I think Raph had one, but he said it sounded like shit, so he just never used it. but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. What's the real answer? Do metal zones suck or do metal zones rule?
Depends. If you want to make slam, it's great, but
Oh, really?
not much else.
It's kind of the same deal with Line 6. A lot of people shit on it because of the tone or something. But I've been using Line 6 almost the whole time that I've been playing guitar since I was like, I don't know, 14, 15. It's always done me fine, Line 6. I don't know. What,
Yeah.
what more do you fucking want?
It makes loud noises. That's what we want.
This is going to sound really fucking gay, but I actually was talking to Septic Siren at some points, like asking her stuff to be funny. I was asking her about her ex-boyfriend who was like a pirate. You remember him? His name was I thought his name was Kenny the pirate, but his name was Captain Rico. That was actually his name.
Captain Rico.
Yeah, Captain Rico. Some strange meth head. I'm not like some strange juggalo or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But I was talking to her about a Line 6 amp because she was like a bunch of people were giving her shit about Line 6, and I was like, no, Line 6s are fine, dude. I've been fucking using them forever. And I'm like, don't let these don't let these incels tell you what to do. But then she got all like, I guess they, people were just talking shit about it, and she like bought a new amp, and then she went on like talking shit about Line 6. I'm like, okay, well, that didn't last.
Well, isn't just Septic Siren just like Metal's King Cobra? Very similar.
Dude,
Okay.
there's actually quite a few of those guys. I can't think of too many off the top of my head, but I was talking about Music of Destruction to you earlier. You said you weren't really familiar with exactly everything he did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, look him up and check out the latest thing he did. He actually did a collab with the guy from Ceremony, the black metal Ceremony from Texas, and it's pretty horrible. They're trying to like show each other music, and the Music of Destruction is kind of just yelling, and he's getting pissed off. He's like, "It's not playing. Hold on, it's not playing. The YouTube won't just let me send the link." So he might be one of those guys. Who else is there? Oh, Metal Ben. Well, I think Metal Ben's just a lonely guy. So maybe we should leave Metal Ben out of it. Yeah. So with you talked about some of the newer bands that you like. What are some of the newer things that are going on that you don't like? Maybe black or death metal.
Oh, like
Just the general scene online, I guess, from what you're seeing.
general scene online. I'm gonna just sound like
Yeah.
Terminus because I completely agree with them. Less
Okay.
Franco-Finnish black
That's
metal.
what we do.
Less Argus-Lent worship. Yeah, we all agree. That's why we're all friends. But just less Argus-Lent worship. We have enough.
Yeah, that sound is it's blowing up a little bit too much right now, and it's kind of getting annoying.
Yeah, like there are bands that do it great. Aurelian.
There are, but
House of
at some point,
Atreus.
yeah, House of Atreus is good, but at some
But
point,
then there are
it's like,
bands
where's the rest of the substance? Where's the originality? I'm not hearing a whole lot of it.
Yeah. You could play like Galal, but can you write a song?
Paul and Fred, what do you guys think about the Finnish,
Excuse me.
French scene?
Uh,
Or the sound? What do you think of the sound? Have you heard enough? You need more?
Honestly, for the French scene, I haven't heard a ton of the newer ones. The Finnish bands are everywhere. I find them honestly hit and miss. Some of them are really good. Some of them are, kind of like any other scene. There's just more of it, right? So,
Well,
doesn't really bother me too much. I mean,
no.
it's
Fred,
not a
does
sound that I'm.
does
It's not a
anything
sound that
bother
I'm
you?
sick of, but it has been like lately very streamlined and very clean sounding,
Yeah.
which is not where it started off. Like when you think of early like Satanic War Master, early Goat Moon, early whatever the fuck, it was a very
Or no,
raw,
maybe.
very dirty kind of sound, and now it's kind of very well again very very clean sounding, and that's kind of the trend that they're going with, and that's not a sound I like as much, but musically, like from a riff perspective, it's fine. Doesn't bother me. For the Argus Sun worship, I don't.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
Honestly, I don't hear enough of it for it to bother me because I don't actively seek it out. Like I heard the Grenadier album from last year. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
great. And, honestly, aside from that, I haven't heard a ton of Argus Lint worship, and I'm fine with that. If I just hear one every so often, I'm not going to get sick of it. So that's that's fine with me.
On the year-end retrospect episode, me and Paul were finally getting pissed off, and we were saying like, what is Fred getting pissed off about? Is Fred critical of anything? Is there anything you'd like to get off your chest now, Fred? What is really grinding your gears, like Peter Griffin would say?
What's grinding my gears?
Yeah.
Brr.
Me saying "fat boy"?
No, I mean like it's same thing as
No.
before, and like you guys you're gonna kill me for bringing this up again, but just
Okay.
brands that just like dwell in memes and merch over actual music. It just like enough already. Just go away. And any of the like, I'm not gonna call them outsider black metal because some of them are really good, but the one still like the black gaze bands, like enough, go away. Like we don't need to hear you. Those are still the things that bother me in the scene.
You don't like black
The
gays in your scene, huh?
See what you did there. But no, like
What did I
no,
do? I
nothing,
didn't do
nothing,
anything.
nothing will bother me more than a band that has like a demo out and then on their Bandcamp page they have like 17 different shirt designs, beer koozies, baseball caps, and it's like,
Oh, I
guys,
thought you were
come
gonna
on,
say
just
nothing bothers me more than those fucking. Never mind. All right.
Oh, so like the maggot stomp bands you don't like.
I was trying to avoid saying that, but
Oh,
yes,
Faggot
I don't
pretty
stomp.
care.
much.
Oh,
What about you, Meat Man? Did you say what was pissing you off, or did I only ask Fred?
you asked me. I said Franco Finish and Argus Link,
Franco
but
Finish
yeah,
and Argosland. Is that
no,
pissing
but
you off though?
I could hear lots of no. But what's pissing me off is the merch core bands. I don't need 4 shirts in 3 colors
Who's Merch
each.
Core? Is Worm Merch Core?
Yeah, Worm's the best example.
And Fred, you
Worm,
fucking hate Worm too, right?
oh, Worm blows.
I don't really have a problem with Worm. I'm thinking again more the maggot stomp bands. Like
Would you invite Worm over to your place and to chill out and hang out?
I don't know enough about him to know if he's annoying or not.
Oh, okay.
If they're gonna
What
come
about
over
you?
and play music, then yeah, I guess.
Gonna come over,
I
just
have
print some
That's
shirts
cool.
out.
Print
I,
some
I haven't
shirts,
heard the
yeah.
newest ones. I haven't heard that split with whatever the fuck and Blue Nothing.
It's
I
like
have
Dream something.
I have Unending Dream or
Dream
something.
Theater.
Yeah, I have Gloomlord and Foreverglade, and they're decent like disembowelment worship for what they are. Like sitting through them is fine. Like they're not bad. But what's weird is that they're putting out this black metal Abigor era kind of imagery, and the music
Sexy
doesn't really
black
seem
metal.
to jive with that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not really familiar with the newer stuff, so maybe it does. I don't know. But I mean, again, what I've heard of them, like I'm not freaking out over them like everyone else seems to be. But like it's fine. I don't. It's good.
What do you think about the
Yeah, Worm.
Go ahead, pal.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Worm. I liked the disembowelment stuff, but now it sounds like limbonic art, but like for elevator music. It's the best way I've heard someone describe it.
Actually
Symphonic
liked their
elevator black metal.
yeah, I actually liked their like demos because they were kind of like a little bit Grousome kite-ish, where it's black metal, but you also have the dungeon synth thing in there. I know a lot of people hate that kind of shit, but I'm kind of into it, and sometimes I can get off on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the only way I'm gonna enjoy Grousome Kite is if I'm overdosing on heroin. I hate that stuff.
Really, when I found Grousome Kite, I don't think they were popular when I found them, but it might have been. It might have been like 2018. I think they probably were popular at that time, but I didn't know that, and I thought it was terrific. I thought Grousome Kite was fucking awesome. And then all of a sudden, it was uncool to hate or to not like Grousome Kite.
Hey, kind of a tangent to that, but one thing that's kind of getting old is the whole uh, Keller Synth Tanzil Core splinter. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
see, that's
what the
something I
hell?
thought was interesting too. Like when Grolfied came out with stuff, I thought it was interesting because they even said like their influence were absurd, and I thought that was just kind of cool. I never personally had a problem with the Kaler synth thing, but I know that's like a cool thing to not like these days. And it's not like I'm listening to it a bunch, but I never really
You
had a
calling me
problem with it.
mainstream? Is that what this is?
No. I'm just saying what I don't hate. That's all I'm saying.
No, again, it's not necessarily the music that bothers me so much as the culture around it. Like, there's such a ridiculous collector mentality around it. Like, vinyl's limited to 10, crap like that. And it's like, guys, this is stupid.
Now, do you think that's a problem with older guys, or do you think that's a problem with like guys in their 20s?
I think it's a problem with people who have too much disposable income.
Too much
Like,
disposable. They have
people
too
who
many
have
CDs. They
people
have too
people
many
have too
limited
much
copies.
too much time to just like sit on a web page and hit refresh until the merch drops, and that's like, guys, really, this isn't like, I don't know, to each their own. But if I have to like sit on my screen and like hit F5 repeatedly to be able to order something, I'm not really interested.
Yeah, I'm poor.
Yeah,
I'm a
it's just
bum. I can't afford CDs.
same here. We're all bums.
Maybe two a year. I'm trying to make my living off this record label, and it's not paying the bills. So come on! No, I'm just kidding. Imagine, because I know there's guys out there like that. Like, well, I'll just say this because he's not going to hear this. Paul, you know Chris Guerrero, right?
Yeah.
I remember he was talking about something like this. He was talking about his black metal band's going to get huge, and he's not going to have to pay the bills. And I straight up told him, like, pal, that's not the reality. No one gives a fuck. And as he's just a vocalist, I'm like, you're not even a no, you're not even like ahead of the band. You're the vocalist. And I think they kicked him out later for
Just
something
give me a
like
second.
that. Are we giving him a second?
Yeah, let's break real quick.
Are we back on?
We're back.
Yeah,
So, should I not look up Clint Saunders' theater outfit?
I'll find it.
Oh, here he is. He's dressed up like an old lady.
Yeah, he dresses up as like an old lady. It's fucking
Here
weird.
he is. Here he is dressed up like a biker with a like big knife in his arm or something.
Oh, and has the bandana on.
Yeah, he's got the bandana on. He looks like a badass. Man, Clint is
what a-
fucking Reddit. Clint is a Reddit type of guy.
Clint has Reddit. I know that. He's in the Cobra subreddit.
Yeah, he's in the subreddit.
Yeah,
Well,
like Cobra's cousin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Supposedly Cobra's cousin. Cobra is offering his underage cousins his homemade wine.
Someone found out that actually happened.
I guess I'm not
What?
surprised by that.
Yeah, well, what do you expect? Want to try my gothic mead, dude? What a guy.
But I mean, I guess I
Send it to you.
understand where Clint
Hopefully you
comes from. Say, I guess I understand where Clint comes from. It's like he wants to be in Josh's life, but he can't get too involved, or Josh will just like block him and like never talk to him.
Yeah.
So
You
it's like,
blocked troll.
yeah, what do you do? What do you do if that's your son, and you can't really say too much, you know? He
Yeah.
doesn't have that much say in what he does, you know, even though he's like kind of drinking himself to death, and maybe he's doing dust,
Yeah.
like computer duster or something.
Yeah, computer dust. Yeah, this is a dark saga. I've been watching Cobra for a long time.
Have you? How long have you been watching him?
I've been watching him since like 2016.
I definitely haven't been watching him that long. I think I found out about him through RFI.
That's how a lot of people in like the metal scene found him. Was through either me or RFI.
Yeah, because I know you do a lot of posting of him.
Oh,
Yeah, it was
Cobra's
RFI for
hilarious.
me. Yeah, Cobra is pretty funny.
That was the last drink combo I had.
Yeah, I think he knocked it over with his cane or something.
Yeah, the cane was looking cute.
Yeah.
Threw it
The
across the
lighter was
room.
being cute with him.
Yeah, the lighter was being cute.
What do you
Carl
say? He's
Lewis.
like,
Have you heard it?
He's all, oh, me and Josh are gonna go to the store get some wanwood.
Get some wanwood.
Yeah, I need my wildwood. Have you heard Cobra's music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It almost seems like, I mean, not almost. It's probably just improvised. I can't imagine he writes or remembers anything.
Oh, no way. But the best thing he ever did was the Christmas album. That's like legitimately decent.
Isn't that like he had a song on there, Santa's Coming on the Town?
Yeah, it's so bad. Or the rap album. The rap album isn't bad.
That
What
rap
you think
album
a
wasn't bad.
drunken boglum rapping is.
Yeah, shout out to Deathbed Tapes.
Shout out to Deathbed Tapes. Shouts out. Shouts out bite-sized Cobra videos.
Yeah, well,
Well, he doesn't do that much stuff anymore. Bite-sized. So it's
No,
now
not
Boglum
really.
Chronicles.
Oh, Bite Size, yeah, he doesn't do shit anymore. All
Yeah,
he does
Bite-sized is
like,
doing like the documentaries now.
yeah, just the documentaries. Because I think Seizure Robot kind of talks about him sometimes, where Bite Size kind of also is a little bit of a weirdo, where he does all this like strange sect pest stuff, all these sexual jokes when like women are around and
Yeah,
shit.
I've heard like Bite-size and like his buddies, like that dude Museum Privileges. Like
Yeah,
something's up with especially Museum Privileges.
Well, I know
Like
everybody
something.
hates the Bite Size podcast, but I haven't really given it a
Oh
chance.
my god, it's so bad.
Bite Size and Grease.
Worse than this?
Grease. It's like
Yeah, worse than this.
bite. It's like not funny. It's not just the fact like people say, "Oh, they're British, haha, funny." It's just they're not funny. Bite Size is
Maybe-
funny. Grease Wizard is not.
Well, Seizure
There's bad
Robot
chemistry.
is funny. Seizure Robot is funny when he does the what's his name?
Jeff
Mr.
Grubb?
Big voice. Jeff Grubb.
I'm Jeff. Oh, I can't do the voice. I'm Jeff Grubb. Yeah, it's Seizure is funny. His work,
Hey,
his things with
butt much.
Chauncey are so funny.
Yeah, you said Chauncey's like a death metal guy too, right?
Yeah, Chauncey follows death metal shitposting.
Oh, okay. You got to send me
Yeah,
his
he
page.
follows-
I want to follow him.
Yeah, Chauncey. I'll send it to you right now. It's like Chauncey CC or something. Yeah, Chauncey CC.
Well, dude, is there anything you'd like to get into before we actually get into the album that we're going to be talking about here?
No, not really.
All right. Well, in that case, why don't you tell us what we got here? What are we doing?
What
Well,
are
we
we
got-
doing here?
Yeah.
Well, we got Grotesque Infection, Consumption of Human Feces, 92.
Oh yes.
Demo. EP.
So who are these guys?
Oh,
What can you
yes.
tell us about them?
So Grotesque Infection, death metal band from Niagara Falls, New York, released
Yeah.
2 EPs and disappeared. Sadly, because they're one of the best bands out there in like this proto slam style. I would call them slam, but just great band, sick lyrics. There's a giant monster on the album cover. Of course, it's gonna be fucking good.
Well, they used to play shows with like other kind of proto slam bands, and they played shows with like Rotting Christ and Malevolent Creation. And,
Yeah.
Who the fuck else did they play with? I
Played a
don't
show
even
with Mortician.
know.
Fred sent me a flyer where they played with Mortician and then one with Repulsion.
Yep. Exit 13. Matricore. That's an obscure one. Yeah, there were a
Yeah,
bunch of things.
that's a decomposed from Suffering, New York.
Decomposed. All right. I mentioned Exit 13 earlier, I think.
Yeah, when we were just
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the
acid.
Dan Lilker like death grind kind of project, but they,
Yeah.
they were like weed themed, I think.
Yeah, the weed grind.
Now I was looking into this a little bit. Their guitar player, I think his name is Eric Wilhelm. This guy, he was in a band called Avulsion. Did you guys ever hear that?
Mm-mm.
Sounds familiar.
They have an album called Green Scare, or an EP, and it's actually pretty cool. It's like dynamic death grind to the point where like it's musically proficient, but it's still kind of just wild grind, almost in the vein of like Old Lady Drivers. It kind of reminded me of like Brutal Truth, and then a band that Fred, I think you know that band, Anal Pus, from like Slovakia, probably.
Russia, yeah.
Yeah,
Russia, yeah, there you
kind
go.
of kind of sounds like what's the like Contrastic a little bit, if you know that band from
No, I don't
like,
know
the
who
Czech
that is.
Republic.
Yeah, the one with the
Disharmonic
It has, like,
Orchestra
the-
too, I'd maybe call him.
one with the Little
Yeah, it
Mermaid
has
on the
like
cover.
the Little Mermaid
that
album
band,
cover.
okay. Okay, I remember that band. They're well, that's a little bit more on the like math core-ish side, right?
Yeah, I would say like dynamic math grind. It kind of all mixes together.
Yeah, this
Well,
this is a
one of the
little bit
members
more.
in Grotesque Infection is still in Anthropic. They're a grindcore band, and the reason I know Anthropic is because they were a side project of Immortal Terror, another band from Buffalo, and Immortal Terror's demo was fucking awesome. It's only like 10 minutes long, but it's just wicked death grind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
that's,
saw a lot of their projects were like kind of tied to grindcore. I don't think I heard
Yeah.
Immortal Terror though.
Worth listening to. It's
The
awesome.
1991. Oh, dude, you know what? I might have actually heard this before. Okay, well, that's getting put back on the list here.
But yeah, the Buffalo scene was pretty was pretty cool. The CDN Records and the Growl have been kind of chipping away at reissuing
yeah.
some of their shit from that scene, like Grotesque Infection, Obscurity, Eternal Torment, Disgorged, Carnal, Dissection. They're passionate about that area, so hopefully they have more down the pipeline.
Yeah. Well, you think Buffalo and Deathman, I think Cannibal Corpse or Baphomet. Which there's so much more there.
Yeah.
Which not saying Cannibal Corpse and Baphomet aren't great. But I personally think Grotesque Infection's the best of those bands.
All right.
Probably
Well,
Controversial opinion to say I like Grotesque Infection more than Cannibal Corpse, but
I don't think that's that controversial these days. I think a lot of people are kind of
No.
moving away from Cannibal Corpse.
Like, I don't think anyone's ever going to dispute that Grotesque Infection were more influential than Cannibal Corpse, but I mean, preference is a matter of taste, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
And plus, you don't really hear much of Grotesque Infection anyways.
yeah, it's such a singular sounding band.
All right, should we listen to a song?
Yeah.
Let's scope them out, shall we? Which track we got?
Meat Man, which
That was
one do
it.
you want to listen to?
Oh, let's start off with Feverish Diarrhea.
Ooh,
All
the
right.
sample song. All right,
The sample
we'll
song.
be right back.
Cold toilet seat on my hot ass. What a relieving sensation.
All right, we're back from listening to that track.
That sucked.
Yeah.
I heard a baby going, wow!
Yep. Gotta
Why did it sound like Toad in Mario Kart? Getting hit by a red shell.
It kind of sounded like Goofy
Wow.
when he falls off. It sounded like Goofy when he falls off a cliff. Yeah, that was the diarrhea track. That was there was a sample in there. I think it was the actual guy, just the vocalist saying, what did he say? The cold toilet on my hot ass.
Yeah, the relieving
cold toilet
sensation.
on my hot ass.
Yeah, relieving sensation.
So it wasn't a sample from something that was just thrown
I
in
don't
there.
think so.
I mean, I think it might be like a real niche, like Hitchcock thing, but
Well, it kind of reminds me of the lubricant section in forget the name, that Vivisection song or whatever, where he's like starts singing about cutting apart like Siamese twins or something.
hmm.
Yeah, they always have like when death metal bands do it, it always seems to be like a gothic kind of like vocal tone to it. Like even when Convulse does it on what was that song, that Resurrection of Incantation or whatever.
Yeah, like when they're supposed to be saying it, it has like a little sing-songy part to it. It sounds almost like desperate or something.
Yeah, there was kind of a different take to it, I guess, in the Dismember album when they did In Death Sleep. It goes, and from dream to dream, we have always been like a never-flowing stream. It's almost like Alan Rickman there. It's almost like Snape, Harry Potter. There you go.
Then what was that? Belial too, right?
Oh yeah, in darkness my soul will wander free. In darkness my soul will wander free.
Yeah, we need more Alan Rickman samples or vocal parts in death metal.
Well, you even
I
did the like gothic kind of thing in the Droom fucking EP.
Yeah,
Don't fucking touch me.
yeah. I think those are all just
I don't
lyrics
know.
inspired
That,
by
it kind
Waking
of takes
Life.
me out of the track, though.
Those vocals.
It is a little silly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's when it comes to a track in death metal, especially a track with a title like this, obviously it's trying to convey that idea across. But like, I've always been of the position that if you can't communicate it through the music itself, you're probably not doing it right. And I think they were communicating what they were trying to do well enough without that being necessary. So it's kind of, I don't know, it wasn't necessary. I wish I hadn't done it. It distracts from what is actually great about the track, which is everything.
Yeah, it's like funny, but I think the closest thing I could find to it is like those joke songs on like early grind albums.
Yeah.
The Unseen Terror Garfield for President song.
Or that
That's the,
Mortuario track that I mentioned while we were listening.
yeah.
Peruvian band, last track on the demo is just diarrhea.
There's like that little bit of grind in there that kind of does things like that.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember. Is like these guys kind of have a little bit of a grind background, or at least not background, but like the shit they would do after this is like a lot of grindcore type of projects. And I guess even during this time when they were doing this band, they were considered themselves to be like death grind. And I guess I kind of see that in certain sections of the songs.
I think it was a lot more prominent in the first demo than it was on this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
This one is a
grind
bit
stuff.
more. I don't want to use the term doomy, but I will.
No, it for sure is fucking Death Doom in here.
Yeah, this is like Death Doom, Slam, Grind, whatever it is. It's just a soup. is like the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, like most bands, there's kind of a formula of things that they do and kind of stick with that. So what do you have? You have like the circular sort of like early slamming, chugging things, and that was kind of what was interesting about it too. I was kind of thinking about like what slams like this in '92. What's as early as this? Because I was listening to a bit of the Suffocation shit from the first album, and I didn't really hear a ton of slams as slow or as kind of totally proto brutal death as what was going on here.
Well, I think like this song doesn't really have too much of those like slams going on. This one's
No,
more of
this
like
this song didn't. I kind of just meant the band in general, like
yeah,
what
like
they
this one for
what
sure,
they-
like a lot more upbeat, like doing D beats and shit, which I guess kind of leans into their grindcore background. And I see one band that's comes out like a year later, Ripikulu, how they kind of chug and do like death doom as well. That's something I can kind of compare with this, but other than that, I was having trouble finding something as groovy with the chugs this early on.
Well, I think Gutted Pulp had a demo in '92. If
I was listening to that
think.
too, and it didn't really give me that.
Yeah, it got maybe like
I think
maybe
I
like
heard like
Demonacy,
I think it was
but
just like
that's
phlegm that was like particularly with this song. What was that? Consumed by the Dead or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
is the most
Or the
akin
main
to
one,
this
really.
track. And I think overall it was like in Bentego too, and Magus from
Blood.
Texas.
Yeah, probably Blood would be another big one. Um, I think that one might have come out in '89 or something.
yeah. Impulse to Destroy came out in '89, but the
Yeah, so
second
you
album
have
came out
that.
like '92. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Christbait came out in '92. So that's probably
Yeah, it's got a little bit more of the like I said, like the crazed kind of disharmonic orchestra or old lady drivers feel to it. Maybe not totally musically, but I feel like that's where it gets a lot of its identity from kind of just straight up like crazed death grind kind of shit.
yeah. This is just everything just go.
Yeah, maybe like Abhoth might be another maybe not an influence, but at least doing something similar. Like
Yeah,
with their I believe it's '89. They had an '89 demo. It was called The Matter of Splatter, and that thing it doesn't really fucking slam or chug a lot, but there is a lot of kind of the disordinate fast guitar playing, and like Paul was saying, Rippy Kulu does that a lot too.
Yeah,
They kind of mix the grooviness and then the super like chaotic fucking almost like nonsensical or almost like war metal-ish type of guitar playing, something that Blasphemy might have been doing or like Beharit might have been doing too.
yeah.
yeah. I don't know if this band has a connection to Grotesque Infection, but Black Massive Absu
Oh yeah,
maybe
that's what I
is
was. I was gonna bring up a
is probably the closest comparison.
bunch of like death doom and like that torture doom type shit to
Yeah,
compare this with, because a lot of this is sort of one of like the I guess one of the first like brutal death metal slam bands, and it's like this could have been like a great direction for this to go into, because there's only a few bands that actually mix death doom and brutal death metal and slam in their music, and this is one of the finest examples to do that. And I think there's like Maimed or something from like '91. They also
Yeah,
have that
Maimed.
sort of mixture, but they're leaning way more into death doom. But yeah, I just thought like how close it is, these two genres like death doom, torture doom to brutal death metal. But it's like I don't know if anyone else sees it.
I
Yeah,
guess that makes sense.
Like they
Yeah, I
could
don't know
totally
how-
be using each other's parts to make some really interesting shit. But I just haven't heard it, and besides this band, really.
Yeah, neither have I. Yeah, they kind of like I was telling Fred, they kind of do the winter thing, or he said Baphomet, and in a sense, I guess Baphomet is kind of slow, so that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Ringus
winter.
Sardonicus could be another
Oh yeah,
reference.
Are they real old?
There's
I
one
don't
track
know
in
how old
particular,
they
I
are.
forget which one it was, that sounded exactly like the opening to Streaks of Blood. I forget what track it was on the demo.
Rigor
No.
Sardonicus formed in '89.
All right. Well, they have a demo in '94, and if the demo sounds anything like the later stuff, which I heard, which is basically like funeral doom type shit.
Yeah, it's like Winter, but even slower with pitch shifted vocals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think Rigor Sardonicus was doing chugs, were they? They seem to be more like droning open chord kind of things.
Yeah,
Yeah, because the only things I can think of is like Ripakulu, where they'll like actually do a chug, but they're a death doom band.
This sort of reminded me of that band that we covered a while ago, that Codex Gigust from Sweden in 1990. Remember that had some like pretty interesting slow chuggy parts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then also mixed with like some of the more chaotic or bestial type black metal things.
Mhm.
Yeah, but on this track, you kind of get, oh, you know what that bouncy part kind of reminded me of, and I've said this before about certain things. I think probably the Codex Gigas, Exodus, Piranha.
yeah.
It's doing that, but it's just way more bouncy.
I'm okay with you bringing that up. If we can get through one episode without telling people that it sounds Greek, I'm happy.
I don't, yeah, this is kind of far away from the Greek stuff.
Well,
It's
it's like
too
the-
chunky.
It's like
It's not, there's,
Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say there's basically no traditional heavy metal here. It's just down to fucking sludgy death grind. If grind
Ugly,
is even,
yeah.
I guess grind is a thing at this point. It's '92 and Repulsion
Death
had been around for
grind, doom
Yeah.
grind, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
Grinding
and there's
Death
like,
Doom.
Yeah, it's a really interesting
Yeah.
kind of demo. Like Paul was saying too. I had a hard time finding a lot of things that sounded like this. Maybe Gutted Pulp sounds like this.
Yeah.
Maybe
At their fastest, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And not the Afterbirth everybody knows, the other Afterbirth, the cloned reoccurrences demo. That's
Yeah.
got some interesting shit on it. And maybe Hideous Manglius, but I don't think they were that doomy, were they?
Nah, like Hideous mainly is maybe like fast parts, but
Yeah, because like this song is just like completely different from any of the other songs on this release. They have like, I don't know, it's just like that last song. It's like 8 minutes, and like the second half is just like this odd like loop of like chugs, and it's like the snare lands on like a different a different note every time. It's weird.
yeah.
Yeah, because this one just sounds mostly like Swedish and old grind, but yeah, it's kind of hard to say what this band encapsulates with this song. It seems like there's all the rest of the songs are the actual statement of the band, where they're like doing death doom slam brutal death metal, but not knowing it at the time.
Yeah, because I mean, this track, it has fast parts, and it has those like somewhat mid-tempo, like faster grinding parts, but it still doesn't sound that much like a Swedish death metal thing, because the Swedish shit is like way faster, and there's not really a whole lot of, and if the mid-pace parts are going, it's like more atmospheric. Especially with this song, there wasn't a lot of atmospheric parts. I think there were a couple on some of the other songs. But,
No, there's
Yeah.
not enough of a D beat feel to it for a Swedish
No.
sound either.
No, definitely not. There's like that one kind of like easy, like slower paced thrash beat, but that's still not quite Swedish. It feels way more American than it does anything
Yeah.
European.
Yeah,
I
like
think it's about as American as it can get.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, like a reverse like almost like not reverse hypocrisy, but kind of like an American band taking Swedish stuff but making it American.
Hmm.
Huh.
All right, Paul, you want to get into the next next song here?
Yeah, which one's that? Meat Man.
That one is going to be. Sorry.
autopsy juices or something, right?
Autopsy juices, yeah.
All right, let me be right back from that. Alright, we're back from that.
Yep.
Yeah, roll.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
actually
another-
kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was saying. Like, the feverish diarrhea like doesn't really capture what this band does best, which is like those slow doomy slam parts, because they're not just it ain't normal, boys.
No, it's not quite.
This
normal.
boy ain't right.
Yeah.
This boy ain't right.
Yeah, 6 already. 6 a.m. Boy ain't right. Putting his fucking undies on with a t-shirt, and he like slides them up.
Atmospheric slam.
You know they already make ice cream with cookie dough in it. Dang it, girl, get my keys. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting one. Or I don't know if it was just me that brought up some like possible Finnish influence. Maybe.
Told you, my boy.
Yeah, cause like
You guys are
some
like
of the
American. I was like,
we're
"Nah."
like American. But yeah, dude, I kind of heard like parts from the fucking Pertinence album and from the Funebre album, and I guess that wouldn't be too far off. I mean, Funebre had an album the same year as this demo came out, and Funebre, or did I just say Funebre? I meant Pertinence. Pertinence had the album out. Funebre had this album out a year before, so it's possible.
Yeah, the Pertinence album came out in '92, right? So it'll be the same year as this demo.
Yeah,
So
same
that's
year.
that's a bit tight, but
It's tight. Funebre possibly, but was Funebre? I mean, dude, everybody talks about Funebre now, or actually, do they? Do people like Funebre now?
we do. It's come up more. Those demos got reissued independently, so it's they're getting a bit more attention because of it.
But it is the demos. It's not the album, right? Because the album is a bit stranger than the demos are more straightforward. Fucking brutal heavy death metal, man. The album is
Yeah,
a bit
well,
more.
the demo has a
abstract.
really weird
Yeah.
production to it, right?
Yes, like brain
Like,
and
it's-
shit.
Yeah, but like Children of the Scorn has this bizarre, almost like hollow kind of production.
Yeah, like
It's,
really dry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think they tuned the guitars up a bit.
Kind of reminds
And kinda
me.
just
You
started
guys ever heard
experimenting with more
Sanctum
weird
from
shit.
Australia?
Yeah.
The album "Rape of Your Religion." That's like a really weird kind of production like that as well.
Sanctum from Australia. Rape for Your Religion. Yeah, I don't. This album cover doesn't look familiar. It looks funny though.
It's pretty funny album cover.
Yeah, I always thought of Grotesque Infection as, I don't know, when I found them, it was during like a deep dive of American, or not just American, but 90s death metal demos in general. And I remember thinking like, it was cool enough. I never thought too much about it, but now that I'm hearing it again, a lot of those chugging parts are really cool. And yeah, you mix with sort of the Finnish sounding fast stuff. I don't. It's a really interesting kind of dynamic here, and there's a lot of fucking atmosphere to those doomy parts too. It's not just the chugs. It goes from chug to doom to abstract grind. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All in one
Yeah, there's-
song.
there's definitely some like disharmonic orchestra mixed in there, but yeah, to me, like especially the last chunk of that song remind me a lot of Baphomet. That
I don't know. I'm
thick,
getting more like
chunky.
Chicago's death metal from this. Like, imagine Cyanide, the Death Doom band,
Yes.
with some chugs or
Cyanide.
something.
yeah, I could see that too.
You know, and then we were saying earlier in Pentago, that's all I could think of at the top of my head, from that sort of scene, like the Midwest death metal. But yeah, I feel like more so that rather than like strictly New York sounding shit. But I can definitely see Baphomet in there.
All the chugs are New York, but the stuff beside it is, yeah, maybe a little bit more Middle America. Like there was one part that I pointed out that kind of had a melodic black thrash tinge to it.
But
That
isn't
could
this
possibly
like
be
before
from,
all like the New York shit?
I think it's
It's all, like,
right
contemporary, like,
it's
91,
right, yeah, it's like
92.
right at the
Yeah.
it's like right at the beginning.
Yeah,
Because what do you have? Fucking Suffocation as their album. Like
Yeah.
the year
Effigy's
before that.
91.
Yeah.
But then like Pyrexia's 93, and then after that,
Well,
so it's like,
Pyrexia had a demo in '92 as well, but
yeah,
I don't think they
Drain
were
of an-
chugging like this. And then you had another band called Carnal Dissection from '92. But again, I don't think they were chugging like this, and I think they were a little bit thrashier.
Oh, another band I
No,
could think of.
they
Fucking
were
Broken
pretty
Hope.
chunky.
Were they? They were
Yeah.
nice and chunky.
Yeah, I'd say they were chunky with a side of brutal.
I could definitely see Broken Hope on this, like as an influence.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That was another Chicago band.
I forget how early. How early is Broken Hope?
First album, 91.
Swamped in Gore's 91.
Oh
Yep.
shit! Yeah, that had a lot of chunk to it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like too much chunk.
I love that album
Yeah.
cover.
Too much chunks in that hobo
Oh,
stew.
it's there's is it the bowling alley one? That's my favorite. I love
Yeah,
the bowling alley album
the
cover.
reissue one is much more on the nose, but I mean the cover that they didn't want that it was originally released with is just so bizarrely abstract.
That's the bowling alley pinball one, right?
Yeah, oh, that's the best one.
About dismembered eyeballs, they would just do it. It does it for me every time.
I actually like both of those album covers pretty equally, I guess.
I don't know. The hair on the on the guy in the reissue is a bit too. I don't know why the hair bothers me.
Yeah, the hair.
Just go with it.
I've heard someone say
It's
it's
too
like
neat.
death metal Trump.
I have to
Oh, God.
I have to look that up because I don't remember what it looks like.
Oh yeah, that.
Like he's been dismembered and skinned. Why is his hair so neat and parted?
That's his widow peak, man. It looks good.
He's got that widow's peak.
Obama.
I don't know
God.
why that sticks out to me about that cover, but it just does. So I'll just go with it.
Yeah, it's like bone white hair too. But yeah, back to this shit. It's like I feel a lot more like the Midwest sort of death metal influence, especially like the a more death doomy side of it. Especially with Cyanide, like if they're just doing chugs like Ripakulu or something, it would be totally comparable to this. But you know, only on one aspect, more of like I guess like the winterish side of this band, like the chugs. You guys are saying like New York, but I feel like that comes out later, and I don't know how quickly bands are listening to shit within a year enough to be influenced to write things. So it's just kind of like a convergent evolution. Like they just happen to think that sounds sick, like all the other bands did too.
Yeah, and it's still a natural continuation of what was on their first demo from '91, anyways, right? So I think anything they might have heard might have pushed them further in the direction they were already going in, but they were already there with the last demo.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that one. I've only heard this one so far.
I mentioned CDN Records earlier. The reissue they did with this has the first demo, the second demo, and a live show from '93. It's like fucking an hour and 18 minutes long. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't got that much time.
I was gonna say another
Yes, you do.
What were you gonna
another
say?
Midwest demo from the same year, Seclusion by Contagion. It's also somewhat close. If you know that.
I've seen the Contagion logo forever, but I don't think I've ever listened to them. Is that Contagion?
Yeah, Contagion.
From for one.
Oh
from
yeah,
Illinois,
I didn't
right?
I
That's
didn't
the
realize these
logo
guys were
that
from the ones that became Funereal, right?
Yeah,
I
Funereal.
have the compilation with those two
balls.
demos.
Funeral
It's pretty
is
awesome.
gonna get funeral.
Funereal. The album cover looks familiar, but that just might be because I've seen album covers that look like this before.
Yeah, a bunch of Geiger's clones.
Yeah, the Geiger.
Yeah,
Geiger-esque.
Kind of rip off things.
Like
Yeah,
the dude on the
Contagion,
back. It's like fucking that thing. What were you gonna say? Contagion? What?
I was
No,
gonna say like
gonna
the
ask you guys
demo.
if you've ever heard them before.
No, never.
No, they're great.
Never have I ever.
Yeah.
Those two demos are fantastic. Worth listening to.
It has a fucking baby
feel like-
on it.
If you like Cyanide, you'll like it.
Oh, okay.
I get this baby looks kind of funny. He looks a little bit angry if you see the subconscious protection demo.
Yeah, he's angry that he's dead.
Yeah, he's angry as a dead baby. He's
Dead.
fucking dead baby.
Damn, 9 months.
Fucking
to
dead
make it.
baby.
I got a fucking dead baby over here.
I like
Hey,
the
Carmella, I like the one with some pulp.
the Wu Tang. He's like he's on the fucking floor like a newborn baby. God.
It says some pulp. It says with pulp. I like
I
it
like the
with
one with,
pulp.
I like the one with some
Some
pulp.
pulp.
And then she throws a remote at him.
Yeah, throws the telephone at her.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. The phone. Okay, so Cantasian is somebody from Cyanide. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very similar to Cyanide, kind of autopsy sort of deal. Like it's great. Good
Oh,
demos.
we've brought up god dang Sepulturnal Death Rain on this show before. I'm wondering if that
Oh,
has
yes.
anything to do with this.
Could be. Could be.
No.
No. Yeah,
I don't
like,
hear
I
it.
was,
Like,
yeah, maybe not. I was, well, because that's more thrashy. What I kind of like about this is that it's kind of void of any heavy metal or thrash influence. There's really none of that
Yeah,
to
it
be
just
had.
skips right to grindcore.
Yeah, it skips
yeah.
to grind, to death, to fucking doom, and not even heavy metal doom, just like fucking deadly atmospheric doom. I don't think it was this song, but there was a song on here where like it's doing chugs, and one of the other guitars is like following it with like single notes, so it's following each chug, and I've never heard that before. It's
Yeah,
kinda
exactly.
Yeah, that's
It's
like
it's like
that's the
Death Doom
first song,
shit.
I think.
cool. Oh,
Like
is it?
Consumption of Human Feces. I think it's on that one.
Yeah, I like that. That's interesting. I've never heard a band that does something like that before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this style could like totally go somewhere, but it just hasn't. And I think they kind of went down the rabbit holes of like each of them rather than trying to combine it. It's like, down the rabbit holes of brutal death metal and then death doom, but chugs can work in both.
Yeah, both are chugs.
Yeah.
Just put them together.
Yeah, I guess at this time in like death metal demos, what you get, even in like shit that's considered brutal death metal, you still get a lot of like thrash influence, especially like technical thrash stuff. And this again, this has like none of that. There's even the fast parts really can't be called technical. They're kind of just they're almost like textural,
Noise.
like they're just effective. Yeah, yeah. They're like
Well, like
noise,
you were
basically.
saying earlier, I don't know if it was like on air, but like having to do with like blasphemy and shit, where it was just like that kind of grinding.
Yeah,
grinding
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
I could definitely
Yeah.
see that because they filter those grinding parts with like, like thrashing, but it's like I could see that for what they're doing in this record.
Yeah, and it actually might make sense. I remember seeing a live blasphemy video from like maybe 93 or 92 or something, and the singer's wearing a blood t-shirt. So I think maybe some of those things kind of converge, like the Black Death and grind and to some extent with Grotesque Infection into the death metal
Yeah.
sound.
Just things that sound like Celtic Frost. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, speaking of blasphemy, the toothpick video, if you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, he swallows that shit.
It's so close. His head's like 90 degrees in the air. Black metal silesia. He's like chewing on a toothpick.
Dude, that's the one where he's like standing up against a wall, right? Telling you about it.
Yeah, it looks like it's in my doctor's office.
Yeah.
It's such a weird video.
What the hell was that
And
guy's
his
name
fist
again?
is like, "Oh, black metal. Oh, it's like Black Wind. Is it Black Winds? Or is that
I think it is
somebody
Black
else?
Winds. Yeah, there's kind of a weird thing that goes on with like extreme metal vocalists as they get older. They change their style so much where it's unrecognizable. Like Blasphemy did it, and I feel like Dismember did it too. At some point, the guy from Dismember couldn't do his like yelling vocals anymore, so he started doing this something that sounds very close to Blasphemy.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's not too bad. I guess it works on a live setting better than it does on CDs.
Yeah.
Then you get the ultimate descent from Tomb of the Mutilated to TNT.
Oh, we
We already talked
Chris
about
Barnes, he got replaced. He got hit with a bus in '94 and got replaced by a robot. That's what happened.
I
Him and
love their
Tupac.
Chris Barnes Twitter account says that in 1995 Cannibal Corpse broke up and became 6 feet under.
6 feet on.
Oh God, the cringe is hard.
It is the ultimate cope that he did.
I liked him on that
ultimate-
Torture Killer album where
The
he
one with
did
the babies.
It-
yeah, where he's like talking about killing someone with a gun instead of a knife.
But his
this time.
vocals sounded like decent on that album. What happened
Yeah, exactly.
from the Torture Killer album to after? Is it something in Finland that happened? Like,
Maybe they're like, yeah, we're paying you to do this, man. It has to be good.
yeah, they threw him in a sauna for a while.
The one the album cover I was talking about was the first one, For Maggots to Devour. That'll be the one with Chris Barnes, right?
Yeah, the one where it's like a guy up against a tree stump or something.
Yeah,
Wait, is that the Torture Killer from Finland?
Yeah.
yeah, Torture Killer from Finland.
Okay, maybe the album that I'm talking about, Barnes, isn't on it. That's the one with the fucking baby.
Oh, for Maggots Devour in
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's
that's
Swarm.
the second one.
Swarm is
Swarm has Barnes on it. My bad.
It has Barnes doing production. Oh, but he does a little bit of vocals on these. I actually don't remember him doing vocals on those. I think it was just that baby one that.
Because
I
it
heard.
doesn't sound
Maybe
like shit.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually
If
good.
you look up Chris Barnes on the Metal Archives page, there's a trivia. It says there had been friction between Barnes and the late anal cunt vocalist Seth Putnam. According to Putnam's website, he heckled Barnes during a 6 Feet Under show, leading to an altercation between the two, ending with 6 Feet Under's roadies ganging up on Putnam while Barnes fled to his tour bus. Anal Cunt later released the song Chris Barnes is a Pussy in retaliation to the incident. In interviews, Barnes disputed Putnam's version of events as mostly fiction.
So I'll say this, Meat Man, and to get it from you, was Seth Putnam the first metal shitposter?
Oh, Seth Putnam. He was the godfather. Of all of this.
Shitposting, huh?
He was just an IRL shit poster.
Yeah, his shitposts were songs.
Yeah. Get into a fight with Drop Dead on stage. Shit like that.
That was a good one.
Yeah, well, that was, AC. What a great band. What a great shit post.
I like the one where I think he like hit some girl in the crowd, and then the whole show stops and like, you hit a girl.
Oh, wasn't that like in the Grindcore documentary? I remember seeing that. Was it?
Yeah. There was a lot of Seth Putnam stuff. Some people love him, and some people were like, "Oh yeah, he was a cool guy. He wasn't as crazy as people think." And then there were other guys who were part of the band who were like, "Oh yeah, like sometimes he was cool, but other times you just couldn't manage him."
And I kept on having that guy from Discordant Axis on. I'm like, I don't want to hear this guy anymore.
No, was he? What was he saying? I don't even remember.
He was like, Seth Putnam's an ass. He was like, Seth Putnam's an asshole. I don't like Discordant Axis, so.
I don't know that I have much of an opinion on Discordance Axis or Gridlink.
I like Human Remains. That's a cool band.
Yeah, Human Remains is pretty cool. I thought the new Gridlink was kind of it was pretty cool for what it was. But I mean, I'm not much of a like mathcore or into shit like that.
No, that shit's great.
It's
and
too anime sounding for me.
Discordance Axis is great too.
Yeah, what do you do? Paul, the vocals don't bother you, do they? I feel like the vocals are a little bit off-putting to me.
No, I like them, but I like screamo and shit too. So.
And that's more of what that is, isn't it? Is it just me, or does that band have not much to do with metal, really?
Well, I think it's just more grindcore,
Yeah, but the music doesn't sound like grindcore. Like the guitar riffs don't sound like grindcore. It's kind of more. It's more of
It's
what
like
a screamo
emo
band
at
would
grind
do.
tempos.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like the thing. It's like I don't know if much like grindcore has to do much with metal as it does with punk, which is a subgenre, or which screamo is a subgenre of, So of course it's gonna sound more akin to it rather than like trap metal in any way.
Well, I guess it depends on what band you're asking. I think something like Repulsion has more to do with metal than it does with punk.
Yeah, I
Yeah, like
guess.
grind, it's like band, it's like 50-50. Like Brutal Truth's more death
Death metal,
metal.
I think. Yeah. Whereas like
Yeah,
Napalm Death in the beginning aren't, but then yeah, they are as the years go
Become
on.
Yeah. Gradual shift.
Yeah, say like Electro Hippies is definitely more punk, or like
yeah, that's just punk.
well, or like Extreme Noise Terror, but then again, that's like under the subgenre of crust punk, and that's kind of just
Yeah.
like
It's like,
yeah, you get
but
that.
I love
What
that stuff. So
I like some of it, I guess. Listen to a little bit of
yeah,
tragedy here and there,
yeah,
or like pop punk grind.
me and the black metal guy from Terminus, we were talking about stenchcore for like 40 minutes.
What is stenchcore, Paul? Do you what is that shit? I don't even know what it is.
well, it's just like fucking. I pretty much see it as like the like amoebic sort of things. Like even a band that is like Ram Lord, that's considered like stenchcore too.
Okay, that's what I was
Like
thinking. And the
crusty type
Amoebus,
metal.
yeah.
But maybe
You
Meat
guys
Man
remember?
has a better explanation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like stench. I'm probably gonna. This is my personal definition. It's like amoebic stuff, but like it's more metal crust punk. There's a lot of single note chug in it.
Does it usually
Hmm.
have to do with black metal too?
I don't think
Like
so at
black?
all.
No, no,
It's
not at
it's
all.
Nah,
more like thrash, if anything.
it's it's closer to thrash than anything, but it's like cool thrash.
Yeah, there you go. Another guy on my side.
Another
What
dig
about
it
Don't
thrash
what
don't
about
metal.
encourage
trap them?
Paul. We don't need that.
Yeah, because there's like
What about trap
I
them?
like
Are they considered crust or
what's it called, Axe Grinder. I remember bringing them up to you, Dan.
Yeah, Axe Grinder, Rise of the Serpent
I know
Men.
who that band is, but I don't think I've ever listened to them. They have an album in 1989. I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
the
a lot of this
stenchcore
stuff
was
is
like
like
yeah during that time.
I've never heard this. The the rise of the
Hell
serpent man.
Bastard.
Yeah, that one's great. We
I've
need
heard of Hell
Yeah, Hell
Bastard.
Bastard.
we need a black metal guy to come out with
Oh yeah, just
the
get us
episode.
spurging out about stenchcore.
Yeah,
That's not Hell Bastard from Japan, is it?
No,
Yeah, I might be thinking of
it's
somebody
Hell
else.
Bastard from England.
Okay. So what about things like do you guys know who Force is from Japan?
I was gonna say
Yeah,
like the
so
proto, like the band before Iron Man, but different force.
Yeah, no, yeah, different Force. It's like members of Multiplex. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
multiplex was great.
Yeah, did you ever hear Force? Fred, you know what that is? The side project?
Force? No, haven't heard Force.
It's pretty interesting. It's like it kind of reminds me of Terrorizer in a way. Like so Terrorizer is more on the metal side of grind too, right? I would kind of put them
Yeah,
there. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in this stench core thing. I didn't realize Axe Grinder was that fucking old.
Sounds something
yeah,
that sticking with Japan, older band, Guillotine Terror. They started off kind of crusty death metal. I think they're like more of a hardcore thing now, but I don't know their newer stuff. But the first EP and first couple albums, those are badass. They're great.
Okay, so here's a band that everybody here probably knows, and I've had friends who were big into them, but I never delved too deep into Gizm from Japan. Do you guys know anything
yeah.
about them?
I know them. Then not really my thing too much, but
No, that's not that's
I
that's
know them.
something else. That's not stenchcore, is it?
No, that's too early. That's like That first song came in like '84.
Yeah, that feels more
Yeah, that's
metal punk.
Yeah, that's more metal punk. Stench is like such a particular sound.
Is it all coming from fucking Amoebics? Is that where the sound is
Yeah,
coming
a
from?
lot of it is just like amoebics. Like you're so drunk you can only play a single string.
Well, what about like
Damn UK.
what about that other goddamn? I think they were a UK band. Now I'm forgetting who the fuck I was thinking of. Oh, what about Killing Joke? Are they considered stenchcore, or is that just like some kind of
No,
heavier
Yeah.
goth music?
Yeah, it's just like goth shit.
like yeah, you could say like Street Cleaner by Godflesh is stenchcore, but like
Just that
by
that
association.
that album in particular.
Yeah. After that, not really.
Okay. Well, Paul, do you
Yeah,
know
well-
any other stenchcore bands? I'm just curious.
Well, just Angel knows. You probably know that just from hanging out with Angel, like all the bands that he liked. in
Yeah,
that sort
yeah.
of vein.
Uh-huh.
Like electro hippies shit too, for sure.
Like newer stuff like Stormcrow is like from '05.
Okay, I remember them.
Sanctum from '06. They had a split with No, Stormcrow had a split with Coffins.
Oh, and Sacrilege too.
Yeah, Sacrilege.
That's considered stench because that's like that to me sounds more like
No,
Should it, like,
the
metal punk?
turn back Chillabite. It must be a different Sacrilege that you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
there's
a
a
bunch of 'em.
couple.
Yeah.
Is it UK Sacrilege? Probably is it's UK Sacrilege is stenchcore.
Yeah.
no the one you're talking about, Paul, is the one I was thinking of too, the one with the chick singer.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, it says Crust Doom, so I guess that would kind of make sense for this sound that you're talking about here.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out. 1989 sounds interesting.
And what's that one band called? It's like Deviant something. Forget.
Deviated Instinct?
Yeah, Deviated Instinct. Them too.
Yeah, Welcome to the Orgy.
Mm-hmm.
And Rock and Roll Conformity, I think it's the second album.
Rock and Roll Gas Station.
But yeah, it's all there, man.
Yeah, it's
All right. Well, I'm interested.
Yeah, we just gotta hope and pray for Black Metal Guy to do the episode already.
yeah. which one's gonna come first, neo folk or stenchcore?
I'm hoping
We already
for.
had a neo folk episode.
Yeah, he already did that.
You know, but like the guide to it.
Oh, okay.
Like he had like that neo folk, kind of like how the death metal guy did power electronics,
Yeah.
which kind of got me into that genre. Before I used to hate it.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, all right, I'll listen.
I'll listen to it.
Fine.
It was nice seeing someone else know who Wormflem were.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Before like really watching Terminus.
Oh, so that was because I got Wormflem and that sort of stuff from that show, from Death Metal Guy, but you already knew that, just from yourself.
Yeah, I found Wormflem. This and like not like the other bands, but I found like Wormflem through like the Funeral Orchestra and like really fucked up Funeral Doom.
Hmm.
So it's like, oh,
I
this
found them through
Wormflem
Hail.
band is really cool. Yeah. Oh,
Master.
that was a great episode, Hail. Like that was a great find that I got from your show.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Hope.
hell's awesome.
Yeah.
I
Shouts
actually
out
found. I was telling Paul and Dan this earlier. I found the Wormflem album LP and the demo reissue LP in the wild over the course of the last year.
Yeah, lucky
in
son of a
23.
gun.
Yeah, you posted it on your account, right?
Yeah, they both wound up on there.
Yeah, and I think I said like lucky bastard, you got the Wormflem demo.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's our interactions.
Be envious.
Yeah, I just look in envy. Yeah, but like Wormflem. That's like how I found bands like Black Massa Absu too. Is like through Funeral Orchestra.
I think I found that band and Dan too through LimeWire. Like we downloaded.
Towpath.
Yeah, we downloaded Cannibal Corpse and it ended up being Towpath, which is some members from Black Mass, and that was pretty much how that went.
They,
Yeah.
Scrotum without testes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Cannibal Corpse song, but yeah, it was a song called "Scrotum Without Testes" by Towpath. It was, yeah, like Paul said, the
Yeah.
Black Mass of Apsu side project, and they had like some funny hip hop part in there, kind of like.
Well, wasn't Black Massive Absu the side project? Because those guys were a bunch of like hardcore kids.
I think both bands were basically just short-lived little things for fun. I don't think either of them were were meant to be like perceived as a serious band.
Yeah, well, on the Black Massive Absu demo, they thank Satan as the first thank.
Satan.
And then they think like capitalist casualties is like the second thank. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they're considered like power violence, aren't they?
Yeah, power violence is a genre that I do not care for.
Yeah, see that's kind of an interesting
it's
thing. It's like
The songs are 20 seconds long. I know that's like grind, but it has that horrible hardcore vocal style that
I don't know.
Mike DeSalvo.
I
Like the
still
Mike
like that
DeSalvo voice, but worse. Oh, I can't stand it.
So Black Massive Absu had a split with a band called Gonculator. Guys ever listened to that?
shit. Oh yeah,
Those-
yeah.
Yeah, the Gonculator split.
Second War in Heaven is fucking wild. What a great band. Like sort of a black grind, kind of like I guess Naked Whipper, Early Beharit sort of
but-
thing. It's
Yeah,
such a
Gonculator's-
goofy name, and their releases are bizarre, but fuck, they're so good.
yeah, it's like a shit post taken seriously.
Yeah.
I've never heard that. That sounds very interesting though.
Yeah, I think you of all people, Dan, would dig it. Check
Okay,
out my favorite Second
say
War in
this
Heaven,
now.
but they're pretty solid.
Yeah, I'll save that here and now. Gonculator. Right? Okay. Paul, what were you gonna say about power violence?
Oh, I still like that shit.
You still like it?
Yeah, from when I think you showed me or introduced me to
Mm-hmm.
some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have an ear and taste for it. Not so
Yeah.
much nowadays, like newer bands, but definitely like the older shit.
the classic stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think Meat Man was telling us like Newt Brush and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I found a lot of that stuff in high school, kind of when you're kind of absorbing everything that's cool or interesting or extreme musically, and then it's like everything's new and everything's cool, and then as you get older, you kind of start distinguishing what you like and what you don't like. And I think as I've grown older, I've become very annoyed with power violence and what it represents and who's into it, and it's just become annoying.
yeah.
The way
I
these
think
people
it's
dress, and it's all just an obnoxious to me. I don't like it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like-
try not to let the
Who's that?
people ruin that shit for me, but that's like I don't know. The music kind of stands for itself, but can't really separate that from the scene. I think.
Yes,
It's like the shows,
somehow-
especially. Like, didn't we go to
Yeah.
like a Weekend Nachos ACXDC show and we're like the sweatiest show ever?
Oh yeah, that was the hottest show ever. I remember your mom drove us back home, and all of us were in our boxers. There was all our clothes were soaked.
we were like trying to climb to the like ceiling of the venue to get some air
Yeah,
ventilation.
to get some air.
oh my
And
god.
Yeah, we were
I
like
think it
crawling
might
up
have
on like
been,
couches and shit, like trying to
Yeah,
get
I
up.
think it might have been ACXDC or whatever you want to call them, ACDC. They were
Yeah.
like, guys, it's dangerously hot in here," and it was. It truly was. It was. Yeah, everyone was about to die, pass out of fucking exhaustion.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
It was funny,
Yeah.
and not to say there's no worth to any of that stuff, but it's you kind of distinguish of what you like and what you don't, and what you can appreciate and what you're just not into anymore.
Yeah,
And
like
it's funny, Paul. Here, go ahead, Paul.
I was gonna say, like I remember you liked like Fuck on the Beach and shit like that. Like they're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean, even okay, a band like Fuck on the Beach, I think those are like kind of more metal guys. And I've actually told you this, Paul, in private, where I'm like, I don't really care if a
Beep.
band
No,
is from
just kidding.
Japan. Yeah, if a band is from Japan, I'm probably gonna like them no matter what they do.
Yeah, all that
So
visual
maybe this-
K.
Yeah,
it's a visual.
yeah. There's probably a bit of bias there.
Visual.
I can
Mel from
where I can
Japan's either
accept it.
Slam or Visual K.
And how you said, Paul,
Well, you got-
like, go ahead, meet me. Me back.
No, you got. I was gonna say like you got Viscera Infest, but that's like.
Oh, is that the guy that just like blasts on Instagram like all day?
Oh yeah, he's like in his underwear.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that guy's cool. That guy can fucking play.
yeah, and he has
Oh,
that
that
black
dude
metal
is-
band too. That's pretty sick. Forget exactly what they're called, but
Yeah, I always forget what band that guy plays in, but yeah, he fucking he can play. That
Yep.
little feller.
it's like full body blasts.
Yeah. Oh, he's just crazy.
Yeah. But what were you saying, Dan?
Oh, I was gonna say how you were kind of commenting on the power violence thing and how you don't let the way the scene looks or the people dress affect the music. I think at this point all the music that I like I can kind of approve of what the people look like behind the music. I feel like I can kind of relate to it at least in some aspect where like it's nothing that I listen to now is offensive to me visually. I think I have to be okay with everything a band is doing.
The whole package.
Yes, I
Yeah.
very much need the whole package. That's part
Even
of it.
the visual
That's who
K.
you are. Well, dude, like I said, what I said about Visual K is I can tolerate it, but my full stance on Visual K and things like that is I don't actually give a fuck, and I'm not looking for it, and I don't listen to it on the reg, but I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something to put on.
Sure, and even that is like even the way they dress is not as offensive to me than the way that no, dude, the way that Visual K people dress is not as offensive to me than the way that like
The beanies
Power
and
violence.
the cuffs.
Oh, the
and-
beanies and the.
yes,
And the
yes,
earrings.
the cuffed pants and the earrings and the beanies and the fucking the clear frame glasses. That is more offensive to me than anything in the world. There's nothing more that makes me want to hurt people than that look.
And weren't you saying something about like the singer from Discordance Access like shitting on power violence too?
Yes, he
Yeah, he
was.
was.
He fucking hates it. He fucking hates it, and I'm glad. I
'Cause
think
I
more
always-
people should shit on power violence. I hate it too.
I don't know. I kind of lump it in with like grindcore and shit, at least in the way I, chop it up in my head.
Yeah, but grindcore's sick, and power violence is gay.
Nah.
Nah?
What I like
Alright,
is cool,
well-
what you don't
well-
like. Fuck, I fucked it up.
So
Wait,
What I like is cool, what I hate is shit.
don't.
well,
All right, Paul.
well, we
Paul-
just got different ears, man.
Paul, when you come to
Batman!
Paul, when you come to practice tomorrow, we can beat each other up and see who wins, power violence or non-power violence.
Power violence. Yeah. All right. Should we get into the last song?
Oink.
Yeah.
I think so.
Which one's that? Rotted to
Last
the
song
cross.
is Rotted to the Cross.
That's a good title.
Oh, it's a great title.
It's a fine title.
The imagery.
Hey, how?
All right. We'll be right back. Meat Man saying that that's ending was tribal, kind of weird. No, I'm just kidding. No,
Kinda
like
weird and nobody agrees.
I was saying, it was like
Everyone's just like, that was awkward, guys.
I
wanna-
fucked it up.
I didn't want to bring it up, but no. No, it was. Like I said, I think earlier it was like just primitive like technicality with that sort of groove of that chug, and I could definitely see that being like ritualistic.
Yeah.
Ritual, primitive, tribal. What are you trying to say here, pal?
That's sick.
Nah, but that shit's ugly, dude. Like Fred said, it's fucking technical, but it's fucking disgusting sounding. I feel like this band would be terrific to see live, and it'd probably be like easy for them to play live. It's super
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, they're like
You could
This
stomp
is-
around like a bully to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about time signatures, but this one's odd.
Something
got almost
screwy.
You got almost the like circusy kind of drum beat behind it. It's like
Yeah, it's like a. I don't know how I'm gonna say numbers. Yeah, they're not even counting. They're just like, all right, let's just do that there.
It's like a 4 inches 3/4 fucking time signature.
Yeah,
1.5.
I was thinking 7, but I don't know.
7/16.
7/4
Oh, okay. 7/4 with a
or 7/8.
I was
You're
gonna say
right,
like
with the-
7/8.
with
Yeah,
the
but that's like
eighth note.
One of the 3
ringing
time
out.
signatures I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just spitballing here. Get the math out my metal. No.
If it's above the 5th fret, it isn't metal.
These
Speaking of
guys,
math,
they qualify.
Yeah.
speaking of math, I think that monster has like 4 faces. Or at least like 4 sets of teeth in different areas.
Yeah, almost kind of like the thing,
Yeah, I was gonna say the bang.
the thing.
Bang.
You know what it reminds me a little bit of? It reminds me of the Australian Asheron demo cover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well, like I said,
No?
the opening of that song is just pure Baphomet boiled in blood riff. It's really close. It's really close.
We need the A/B comparison.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, like they let the bassist just shine throughout this whole demo, especially like the beginning of every song. It's just like you could just hear them coming
Yeah,
in a
it's just
little bit
twanging away. It's great.
earlier or
It's
or
like-
later than the guitar riff at the intro. And it's just always so distinct, and then all the transition parts, they just like let the bass do it because that tone's fucking sick.
I think maybe that's why I compared it to Winter a little bit, because I think there's a bunch of kind of bass eccentricities to that too.
Yeah, it's prominent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That second slam though, man, I couldn't not hear the note sliding. It was like junk chink, dunk chink,
It
dunk
was like
chink.
squeak, 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 squeak.
It's like the pick scrapes in Revenge. You need it. I think it makes it better.
Yeah, it was like SpongeBob squeaking the pickles. Yeah, J Dog laugh.
Yeah, squeaking the pickles.
Sponge Dog.
That tiny squeaking sound when you rub 2 pickles together.
Oh, but yeah, the 8-minute monster. They got like 3 sections to it, all split up between the bass little transitions. And I think there's like 3 different slams in there.
Yeah.
And they like get even more and more primitive, but simultaneously getting more and more complex. It's like it's so weird.
Yeah, kind of like a connection I made with like a newer band, the new Portrait album, with the last song getting slower and slower.
Which band?
Torture.
Oh, I thought you
Enduring
said Gore.
Freedom.
I thought you said Gorcher. I was like, who the fuck's that? But yeah, I could definitely see that where it just like dissolves into like a drone and shit. I think that's what makes this like sort of, I don't know, comparable, or at least something I want to see more, or at least done more, other than like Grotesque Infection and Ripakulu, where they have the brutal death metal chugs as well as like just death doom parts in it. Like, they're both slow. Use them both because
Yeah.
it sounds great, because there's not only one way to break down.
More than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. We just need Breakdowns, the band.
It's almost surprising that more bands don't kind of utilize the doom metal brutal slam thing. It feels like it would go together so well.
All right, we're back. Well, what were you saying, Dan?
I was talking to Fred about the band Gonkulator and how they looked Japanese, but it also makes sense that they're from Massachusetts, and how it kind of reminded me of like something like Lord of Depression, where it's so like Scandinavian black metal, but you know, it's kind of interesting that they're from Middle America. I guess there's forests out there too.
Yeah, that's all the transcendental philosophies from Massachusetts and all that.
Yeah, and that kind of led me into another band that I'm looking at who looks interesting. Fred would probably know them. Fred, you know a band called Goat Thrower?
Goat thrower. Oh my
Yeah.
god, that sounds familiar.
You mean bolt thrower?
No, Goat Thrower. I
on.
would urge you guys to look them up on Metal Archives to check out their band picture. One guy, the one member's name is the Mad Arab, and the other guy is Sabbatic Goat, and they look again.
Surprisingly, two bands called Goat Thrower. Which one?
Oh my god, yes, I remember this.
The one
Yeah.
from Massachusetts, Black Thrash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember this. Oh my
You
god.
see what I mean? Okay. This is kind of like that band you're always talking about, Fred, the fucking Maniac Butcher, almost a parody of black metal. But I don't think that they're trying to do that. I think they're trying to invoke something else.
Yeah, I mean, Maniac. I don't know what Goat Throwers sound like, but Maniac Butcher were actually good.
Yeah, I'm just judging on their looks, and again,
Yeah,
it makes
same.
sense.
If you're
It
to
makes
judge
sense that
Maniac
these
Butcher
guys
on
are
their
from,
looks, you would never listen to them.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the second Goat Thrower album just to see what their album covers look like. It had a 30%, and it's got the two evil black metal guys and some evil chick with her big butt sticking out.
Oh, this looks
But
like
like, it was released on Bestial Burst, though. Like, that's some credibility.
Oh, damn, it is on Bestial Burst. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, bands like this usually do have credibility, even though they look maybe slightly
Goofy
silly.
AF.
Yeah, goofy AF. Well, let's see if this Big Butt album is any good. I'll have to check that out later.
Hell yeah.
Savage Souls and Sodom. All right.
And that Maniac Butcher. You can't have that horse in here.
Hey, Maniac Butcher rules. Have you guys ever listened to Maniac Butcher?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Under a Funeral Moon, right? Is that fair enough?
Yeah, it's close. I think it's a bit more like consistently intense, but not in a blasty Marduk kind of way.
No, it feels more speed metal in
Kinda, yeah.
in the tempo.
Yeah.
All my homies hate Marduk because they flagged us.
Oh yeah, they
Not-
copyright blocked us.
Not cool, guys.
Damn.
We're giving you props. Come on.
Well, Tenacious D did the same thing, so
Oh, well, that's different.
that's Jack Black. That's Oni's homie. He did the video games, fucking music video.
God damn.
Well,
Never play video games.
Grotesque Infection. How about that?
Right.
Good
Well, we did the
segue.
last sample. And oh wait, did we get cut off before we said anything about it? I think we had everything just about covered, didn't we?
I
Yeah.
think so. We can probably move along to
Circular-
our final thoughts, I think.
Circular slams.
Freddy's getting
The
tired.
circles of slams.
Oh, I've been tired for hours.
Yeah, damn. What do you think of this? Because you're an old devil. You heard this about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on this now?
Here to my thoughts when I heard it. When I heard it, I thought it was pretty cool. I really can't say that I gave it much thought back then. Like, well, to tell Meat Man about, like, me and Paul back in the day kind of didn't dissect music the way we do now, or at least we didn't think about it the way we do now. We kind of were just like, oh, this band's sick. Put him on the iPod. I'll listen to him on shuffle, and that's kind of where Grotesque Infection came in. I think I heard them when I was again, kind of just collecting
Yeah, we're just blog
like
spotting.
90s blog spotting 90s death metal demos and put them on the iPod, and if it's sick, it's sick. And most of it was sick. I mean, most 90s death metal is sick, but this is actually, now that I'm hearing it and now that I've heard a bunch of crap, um, this is actually, yeah. Well, I won't call it crap because, like I said, most '90s death metal is pretty good,
It's a bunch
and
of
I
shit.
would say, that '90s death metal is probably my favorite genre of music in general, or like at least my most listened to regularly. Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting and kind of profound, and it's like you guys were all saying, it's pretty interesting that this style never really picked up because it seems so I think this is the last thing I was going to say before we cut off, but this seems so natural that doomy death metal and slamming death metal would go so good together because it just seems so right, and it almost doesn't make sense that it never picked up, like Paul said. You know, when you get brutal death metal, you usually get two extremes. You get slow, all of a sudden chugs, and then all of a sudden blasting. You kind of don't get the smoothness of, uh, like slow Celtic Frost, winterish, or like Fred said, Baphomet kind of.
Not much atmosphere.
Not much
Yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah.
Another, like Fred was talking about Baphomet. I feel like another band that maybe didn't do it as well was like the next progenitor of that, which was fucking Banished. I feel like they didn't continue as well as Baphomet could have.
Really?
Baphomet.
I
Baphomet's much better.
I,
Even though
I,
it's
I,
the
think
same.
I, think
I
probably
love
like
that Banished
Baphomet.
album. I
No,
love
it's
the Banished album.
it's pretty cool, but it's if I'm remembering it correctly, it's not doing anything as slow as Grotesque Infection is it?
Yeah, Dying
No,
Fetus didn't
not
cover
as slow.
Banish, bro. No.
Ty.
Yeah, what was that? Was it Boiled in Blood or
Streaks of
Baptized in
Blood.
Blood or something? Streaks of Blood. There you go.
Streaks of Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also like how the grindcore is kind of injected into this too, and there's basically no, like, I mean, maybe
But
you
like
can
the
call,
metal grindcore though.
sure,
So the
the
good
metal
Not like
version.
that.
Well, there's a tiny bit of that, but not much. And I feel like they do that just a tiny bit enough where it works, and it's not annoying, and it's not just some sort of Swedish ripoff. Because we compare this to like Finnish and Swedish death metal, but something about it feels purely American in kind of
Yeah.
the tempo and the way that they kind of fucking make the bouncy grooves go. You know, maybe the slams and maybe some of the bouncy parts could be compared to thrash, but like way fucking down the line to the point where there's kind of not a lot of thrash or basically no trad metal in here at all. It's
Yeah.
just a dingy, dirty fucking grind with big slow parts, which you can also just call grind. You can just call it slow ass grind, and it's interesting. And yeah, I think this band is kind of a cool one to draw from for death metal bands that are interested in kind of interesting atmospheres and slams too that kind of just mix in together.
Yeah, and a different path for death metal to go. Let's get some
Yeah.
Grotesque
Like
Infection clones instead of Incantation and Argus.
Yes.
Yeah, let's try the Grotesque Infection clone. I think Jubb once talked about that band Decolation, who was like a side project of Liars and Wade and At the Gates
Yeah.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he said,
Yeah.
like, out of all the types of worship bands that there are, it'd be interesting if a band tried to fucking go for a Decolation sound. And here's the same case. I think this would be really interesting if a band went for the Grotesque Infection sound.
Yeah, and I think Man, you were saying, I don't know if it was on or off air, but like you're getting like similar vibes of like Infestor with this
Yeah.
album.
Fester.
Like
Just-
for sure with like the atmosphere of that album.
With like how fucked up it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think I could say the same with that pre-Absu band Magus from Texas. That they're like a death doomy, but also kind of like brutal death metal. They have a release from that with that band, and it's not so much on the nose of that combination as this band is, but it's definitely in that direction because I think that came out like 96, 98, and then these guys are doing that shit in 92. So it's just like way ahead of its time, I think, and kind of forgotten that you can sort of match
It
this.
is kind of ahead of its time, like we were talking about. There's not a whole lot of chugs like this in '92,
Yeah, where it's like,
even from Suffocation or Pyrexia or something.
yeah, these chugs are primordial. They're they're ritualistic, not
Yeah.
It's like you get like the eighth note chugs and shit like in thrash, and these guys are doing like some weird 7/8 chug without being pretentiously technical or anything like that. It's just kind of like, yeah, this groove actually sounds sick, rather than like, oh, let's see if we can make a groove in that time. You know.
In heaven, there is no beer chug.
But Fred, what do you think of this? Because I know you, the flyers and the compilation from the reissue.
Fred, you got
Yeah.
the flyers. What you got?
No, like I'm sure I've told the story before, but like I was posting on a message board and a guy was saying he was going to throw out a bunch of flyers he had, and I asked him to send them to me instead. He lived in the Niagara region, and a bunch of the flyers were for Grotesque Infection and other bands and Mortician and stuff like that. Um, and there was a Grotesque Infection sticker in there from back in the day too.
Shoot it over.
So I've known them since like I want to say early mid 2000s. So when CDN announced the compilation of the two demos
older
and
devil.
stuff, I was pretty happy about that. Yeah, I mean the sound on this particular demo more than the first is I love how deep, how ominous it is. The bass sound is fantastic. The vocals kind of are kind of like a mutter almost. It's weird. Yeah, like we said, Infester definitely comes to mind. Crucifixion, and that Australian band Cryptal Darkness, I think I mentioned earlier. But this predates all of them, and I think this demo is definitely the better of the two. They're more advanced. They're more comfortable with what they're doing, and but yeah, brilliant, brilliant band from an overlooked American scene. I think the New York scene, Buffalo in particular, had a lot of really good stuff coming out. So yeah, awesome pick me, man.
Thank you.
I'll say that this this is the first time I've heard this release this week, and yeah, it kind of was profound in the ways that I've already said about mixing death doom and brutal death metal, where I just can't believe no one else is doing that, and the demo quality of this and the mix of like the bass, popping out at the beginning and in the transitions of like each of these songs are like, it just has like the like perfect old school sound, and it's just kind of amazing that these guys are doing this shit in 92, contemporary with brutal death metal being like spawned through Suffocation and whatnot during that time. But I feel like at first listen you can say, yeah, this is just a bunch of like New York death metal, which it is, because they were playing shows with all the bands during that time around that area, so of course they were hearing each other in that immediate sense. But I think like a lot of the Chicago death metal, especially the death doom there, like I mentioned before, Cyanide and the grindcore aspects from Impetigo kind of play like a huge part in this. And I think another band was Phlegm,
Yeah.
within the States that is like comparable to this. But then you get the sort of atmospheres that I only find in like Finnish death metal, like Ripikulu and Daniel was saying Funebre, all in this, that that's left behind, and not because it's not important, but just because it doesn't have the right or enough recognition for it to, carry on, and it's a damn shame.
I think Meat Man and I agreed that this is kind of like Phlegm. This is kind of like Atrocity, the Infected EP, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which again is it feels like that this style of death grind is kind of forgotten. Not just the chuggy stuff, but the style of like some of the things that we brought up before, like Disharmonic Orchestra and Multiplex, and even Terrorizer for that matter. It feels like grind kind of went in a kind of once Nails came out, it seemed like grind went that direction and
Went
kind of
punk.
didn't. Yeah, it went
Yeah.
punk. It kind of didn't look back to the metal aspect of it a whole lot.
It's like
it always
those
kinda, yeah.
it's like those compilation CDs, like when punk goes pop or something.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, I
when
thought you were
grind
gonna
goes
say
punk.
I thought you were gonna say Kids Bop.
Well, yeah,
Kids.
it's supposed to be a play on that with those like scream what are they called, scene bands doing like pop covers.
Yeah, yeah. Paul, you asked me last time we were just talking after rehearsal. You said, "What were what do we have any phrases that me and you in particular like repeat on the show?" And I just caught one when you were talking.
What's mine?
And we both say this. We say "and whatnot." We both say "and whatnot."
And what's it?
I had a couple other things I wanted to bring up very quickly just before we leave.
Not your turn.
Meat Man, sorry, Meat Man. Did you ever watch Adventure Time? Are you a fan of that?
Yeah, that. I used to watch that.
There was one where it shows, or no, it's Jake and he's talking to Finn. He's like, hey, you want to have some of Meat Man's meat? He goes, hey, do you think it hurts Meat Man when we eat his meat? He goes, nah. And then it shows him sleeping, and he's dreaming. He's talking in his sleep. He goes, Meat Man. No, I'm sorry, Meat Man. I didn't mean it, man. And then he wakes up the next morning. He's like staring out the window with a cup of coffee, and he goes, "Hey, Finn." He's like, "I think we should stop eating meat, man." Yeah, so there was that. That just reminded me. The name reminded me of Meat Man from Adventure Time, who was never seen on screen. He was just talked about in that instance. And there was one more thing, and this is something I think we all have to agree on. I was thinking about asking Justin Horville a question for one of his paid Scaroonies.
Do it.
What should we ask? What would be a good question for Justin Horville?
What merch has
Dawn of the
Manslaughter
Dead.
said no to?
Well, merch
What was-
has Hell's Headbanger said no to.
What do you have there, Meat Man?
Oh. He has to shoot either King Foley or Dawn of the Dead. Who's he going to shoot?
You gotta fuck one, kill one, marry one. King Diamond,
Yeah.
King Fowley, or Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, fucking
Yeah.
He's all shoot my fucking self before I fuck anybody. Like, any fucking
What
guy.
are you, bud? Is this pink panty wearing fucking
Big panty wearing.
fucking canoe?
This must be a fucking young devil asking this.
This must be some fucking young devil. 16-year-old virgin. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a great impression.
Yeah, Dan has the voices.
Maybe I will ask him that. That'd be funny. He would probably, hey, he's getting money. I'll give him $10 to be an ass.
Gift from Bunsen Burner Recordings.
Fuck one, kill one, marry one.
There you go.
All right, I think that's it.
But me, man, how'd you even come across this band, and why'd you think it was good enough to bring here? Because it is great.
I don't even remember how I came across Grotesque Infection. I think I was listening to Incantation on like autoplay on YouTube.
Why did
And
you
that's
set
how
me
I
on
found
fire, SpongeBob?
Yeah, that's just a hop and a skip away.
Yeah, close enough. But this is probably my favorite death metal EP demo of all time, so. want to share with people who probably don't know it, or if you do, you'd hear me ramble like a jackass about it.
Now we needed something like this. I don't think we've covered an American old death metal album, have we? Is this the first time we've done this on this show?
It
I think
might
it is.
be.
See, I think you're bringing a first here.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm looking through the thing. I don't think we've covered an American old death metal band. So there you go. It works,
Wow.
and it's a great it's a great EP, and it's a perfect one to bring on here.
yeah, it's
Yeah, you did it. You did it, dude.
yeah,
We need those air horns.
yeah. You just hear me whip out an air horn.
And
But
all
me,
I
man,
ever wanted was to see you smiling. And
I
all
gotta
I
ask
ever
you
wanted-
about this band that I can't get into. They're supposed to be
yeah,
atmospheric, brutal death metal, new, Disentomb.
Disentomb. They're from like
From
Australia,
Australia?
right?
Yeah. Well, give me, or sell them to me if you even like them.
Paul, I would sell it to you if I liked them.
Oh, okay. That's
I
all
don't
I
like
need to
them.
know. Yeah, I just see this band getting thrown away with all the praise or thrown around with all the praise, and
I don't get it either.
yeah, it's like a deathcore infused brutal death metal, and I don't get the hype.
Yeah, same.
All right, you guys got to sell me on Kecht a Rock.
Can you give me a gun?
Just don't watch don't watch the music video, and you're good.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. I mean,
What happens in the
Banner-
music video?
He's throwing rap hands.
oh yeah, that's
He's doing the
cringy.
fucking
Oh, I
e-girl rap hands.
Yeah,
Oh my god, e-girl rap hands.
yeah.
The first couple albums, it's basically like Transylvanian hunger worship with like a gothic theme to it, and like audio wise, it's fine. The covers are cringy, but the new track didn't do much for me. I don't know if he's released more than that yet, but yeah, I mean, not worth all the hype he gets, but not offensive either, I guess.
Hey,
Again, unless you're looking at the visual, in which case, oof.
Yeah, don't watch
Yeah.
that. Close your eyes.
Hey, Fred.
Avert your
Yo.
eyes.
Fred, when it comes to a black metal artist like Kecht a Rock, do you think that in order to be a decent black metal band, you should have like a decent understanding of kind of the encapsulating metal genre in general? Or do you think you can kind of just come into it as an outsider? And
I've
it's gonna
heard
be
some
alright?
very good outsider black metal. Usually the ones who do wind up having this really bizarre off-kilter sound, and like the one I'm thinking of, and I'm pretty sure it was like Outsiders, it was Worm's Blood, and that was a weird fucking band and recording. I but for the most part, if they wind up without like performing straight up black metal rather than just bizarre like black metal adjacent weirdo bullshit, I think having no knowledge of what came prior is generally a disadvantage, because then what they think is original really isn't, and it's just kind of bland.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's my knee-jerk reaction to it.
You know, I looked up Worm's Blood, and it's surprised me. You know how when you've clicked on things on Metal Archives, the text is gray?
Mhm.
The demo and the two albums are gray. Apparently, I've looked into this band before. I don't remember it at all.
Yeah,
with
the
the
Mastery of Creation demos are it's wild. It's a weird listen. I don't remember who's in the band and if it's anyone relevant. I don't think it is, but I remember getting that one years ago and thinking, what the fuck just popped into my stereo.
Man, but that made me that question made me think of like newer bands, and I don't know. It seems like it's a lot easier for like outsiders and whatnot, or people who've been listening to this forever to kind of go off and do like solo projects
Mhm.
and not really capture the. I don't know. I think the essence of metal is the bands. Like working with more than just one person to get the music out. But of course, there's black metal about isolation and kind of spawning the solo projects in general. But I think there needs to be a little bit more collaboration in 2024 for music to come out, because there's already an oversaturation of bands already coming out with shit. But on top of that,
That,
people just doing this by themselves.
well, that's the thing
Yeah, you
with black
get.
metal, though, right? You can get away with it sound like absolute shit because it's kind of
It's
a thing. Like,
cult.
Or
yeah,
even just like, I don't care if you play it by yourself, at least play all the instruments. Like it's so easy to just go in Superior Drummer or Easy Drummer and pick a blast beat and the BPM and just write a grid riff to that, versus like actually picking up the instrument. Or how Dan and I were talking, I think earlier this week, we're like, yeah, just grab the piece of wood, it's not that hard, fucking play the notes,
it,
hit the drums, make
if
something.
Hellwitch can record a demo on a cushion and textbook for drums, the rest of you can get shit done.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
that anal cunt side project where he's just flapping on his fucking legs.
Impaled
Yeah.
Northern Moon Forest.
Oh,
Oh, that's
that's
the one
a
with the scary stick figure devil on it, I think.
Yeah, I
Yep.
yeah.
can't even look at it.
Too scary for me.
Yeah, I'll take any brutal death metal cover over that. But yeah, on that note, me man, you want to have any final words in general?
Well, I want to say thanks for having me on. It was a great time.
Thank you for being on, man. Glad you could finally make it. We had this planned
Yeah.
out for a little while.
Yeah. My schedule's just as I got a really screwy schedule, so I'm glad I was able to work out.
Yeah, and then now you've passed the threshold, so you could just come on as a guest whenever.
Yeah, I can join the ranks of Roman and Hope